Donald Trump is calling on the GOP to end the filibuster so that way they can reopen the government and save everyone's SNAP benefits. There's been concerns about food riots. Democrats are blaming Republicans, Democrats. And of course, Trump has said he's going to get it done. Now, some people believe that there would be some emergency move made. By the time of recording this, we haven't seen that happen. But Trump is saying nuke the filibuster. And then what we're going to be able to do is get these judges in. Democrats want to do it. Why don't we do it now? I got to say, I don't completely disagree. So we'll talk about that. We have some other funny stories. Polymarket actually has a market where you can predict whether or not Trump will say, quote, the N-word. It's not a joke. But I don't think they mean the N-word, even though they wrote it that way. I think Trump has to say the phrase N-word because he does when he talks about nuclear. And the DOJ is investigating Black Lives Matter for fraud. Good. How fun. We'll talk about that. Plus, there's a really funny story with this Democrat congresswoman who's facing federal indictment. She rage quit an interview when shown a video of her apparently committing crimes against federal officers. So that's a problem. I'd have to admit she's probably worried about. Before we get into all that, we got a great sponsor. It is Bearskin, my friends. Check out BAER.SKIN/Tim. Get your Bearskin hoodie now. They're amazing hoodies. They feel really great. 340 GSM micro fleece, 10 pockets. Well, the smart people are locking in their winter gear right now because this is hands down the best time to prep for the coming winter. Bearskin is running a 60% off deal right now, but only if you get your hoodie early. The hoodie's built like a tank. Like I said, 340 GSM, 10 pockets, clean, rugged fit. It looks awesome. Plus, it zips right into the heavy storm rain jacket to become 100% waterproof when you need it. So if it's cold, wet, windy, you're not scrambling at the last minute. Do yourself a favor. Text the word Tim to 36912 to lock in your 60% off again. Text Tim to 36912. And you'll get a link sent straight to your phone so you can check it out later if you're busy. One more thing, when you support Bearskin, you're also supporting the Fallen Outdoors and the Hope for the Warriors veterans programs. So you're not just buying great gear, you're backing a cause that matters. Don't wait till you're freezing to realize your hoodie sucks. Get Bearskin now while it's 60% off. Text Tim to 36912. But don't forget to also go to castbrew.com. Using the code TURKEY20, you'll get 20% off everything. We want to make sure you get your coffee.
Gobble.
That's right. Gobble, gobble.
Turkey 20. Remember it.
And that's right, because you got to get your coffee before Thanksgiving. And so order it now if you want it available. We got Appalachian Nights. We got Ian's Graphene Dream. Everybody loves it. And if you pop into our coffee's ground, you also find Luck of the Seamus. That's Seamus's coffee. Check
Delicious.
it out.
I can't guarantee that it will improve your luck. We're not saying that it will, but it is delicious. If you're unlucky because you're drinking coffee, that sucks.
Cast Brew Coffee. It gives you 4-leaf clover.
That was very virtuous of you to acknowledge that it wouldn't necessarily give you luck.
Well,
no, of course.
We're bound by FTC regulation. So, my friends, also, don't forget, smash that like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Roger Simon.
Hey, great to be here, I got to tell you that.
Who are you? What do you do?
I'm a writer from so long I'm almost bored with it. No, I'm not. I really love to do it. I started writing when I was about 15, and I'm now 409. So
400. So you've seen it all.
Why didn't you do anything to stop slavery?
you know,
You saw what happened to those Indians and you didn't do anything? You didn't write about that?
We're near Harper's Ferry here. I was there for that.
What are like the top
Very
things
evil.
He's actually the guy who alerted the feds on the train.
No, the right answer would have been like, that's all made up. I was there. I saw it. None of that happened. It's liberal nonsense.
There's no slavery.
What were some of the big things you wrote over the years, like the top stuff?
Well, you know, way back, The Big Fix with Richard Dreyfuss. And then I have my Oscar nomination for Enemies of Love Story with Angelica Houston. I wrote a bunch of novels, including that one which Richard was in, about the detective Moses Wine. That's when I was a lefty. And then I became a righty, and I got kicked out of Hollywood.
Recently, or when?
No, I became a righty probably on that the day the planes hit the World Trade Center.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that did it for me. I realized that there were people out there who wanted to kill us.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be fun.
Didn't take too much to figure it out.
Yeah. Should be fun. Thanks for hanging out. Ian, did you introduce yourself already?
No,
or
not yet, but I am at Ian Crossland. You can find me there. Follow me at Ian Crossland on Twitter, X, YouTube, Instagram. Seamus Coughlin in the house.
Seamus Coughlin. I'm the creator of Freedom Tunes. We've done over 600 animated videos. We have over 1 million subscribers and over 290 million views with $0 spent on marketing because people are hungry for right-wing conservative content. The left currently owns all avenues for entertainment. We have the most robust technological infrastructure for telling stories that has ever existed in history with film and television, and the left owns all of it. People who hate you, who hate your family, who hate your way of life, and who have been chipping away at your culture for decades. That is why myself and my team have decided we are going to make a full-length animated show. We already have the 25-minute long pilot created. You can go watch that if you support us at twistedplots.com. We're currently crowdfunding our first season. We're very close to being 60% of the way there. We've got 2 weeks, and we need your help. Go watch our pilot. You'll see that it communicates our values not through ham-fisted preaching or boring monologues, but good stories and good jokes. I've got the team, I've got the experience, and I've got the track record. Give me your support at twistedplots.com. I will have everything I need. We will be unstoppable. We will create a watershed show that will help to destroy the left's monopoly on entertainment.
That was really powerful, Seamus, but it's ruined by the fact that there are 2 spoons sitting right behind you on that windowsill.
Who would do such Those aren't mine. I didn't touch those.
Yes, you're correct. They're not yours.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't put them there.
All right. Here's the story from Fox News. Trump urges GOP to end the shutdown by going nuclear on Senate filibuster. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now, Trump said. Trump urged Republicans to end the filibuster in order to end the month-long government shutdown. In a late-night Truth Social post, Trump noted that Democrats had tried to eliminate the Senate procedure when they had control of both chambers of Congress and the White House during the Biden administration. But then Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, both of whom have since let the Democratic Party become independents, helped block the effort. Trump revived talk of the nuclear option after returning from his Asia trip this week. Quote, "The one question that kept coming up, however, was how did the Democrats shut down the United States of America, and why did the powerful Republicans allow them to do it?" Trump wrote. "The fact is, in flying back, I thought a great deal about that question, why?" Now, he's going to say that they've got Trump derangement syndrome and all that. There were some theories that Trump would come out at the very last minute because SNAP has expired and it's not going to happen tomorrow. He'd come out and say, "I am your magnanimous leader and I have found the money for your food stamps." But it's looking like now the strategy may be, hey, they won't reopen government. We have no choice. End the filibuster. And if he does, I say pack the courts, 4 more Supreme Court justices appointed by Donald Trump, and then we can make Greater Idaho and the state of Jefferson things, so we'll get 4 more senators. What say you, pal?
I think we need 11 more or 12 more judges, personally. We need a big...
Yes, you're absolutely right, and Trump should appoint them all.
I don't know about that.
Are you looking for a job?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm open. Just don't like putting it all in the hands of 9 people. What were you going to say, Raj?
I wouldn't mind being on the Supreme Court.
You'd be good at it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, why not try?
Since they brought in Ketanji Brown Jackson, the bar could not be lower. In fact, it's underground.
So this is, they want to end like the idea of the filibuster, like the ability for the Senate to filibuster at all. They want to make it illegal.
No, you can still filibuster. Here's the way it works. Normally, to filibuster, you stand up and you talk for 20 hours. They passed a rule saying, okay, that's a waste of our time. So how about if you filibuster, if you want to filibuster, it's just 60 votes to pass a bill. But this is stupid because you're never going to get 60 votes, so the Democrats will always filibuster. But you only need a 50. You need a simple majority to change the Senate rules. The Republicans could literally go all in favor of no filibuster. Aye. Okay. All in favor of opening government. Aye. Done.
No filibuster. Oh.
And the concern is if we do that, then Democrats get in next time and they'll do stuff to us. And I'm like, you're correct. They'll do stuff to you. They'll put you in prison. Pay attention.
So what do you guys think of the SNAP program, though? I mean, 45 million people, or how many people?
42 million.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
It used to be 17 million like last week.
I thought it should be more like WIC, which is women, infant, and children. You get like bread, eggs, meat, cheese, basic commodities that actually heal your brain. Something that's healthy, because if you give people nutrition, then they get creative over time and their kids can actually solve problems.
Dude,
Did you see that there was a few years ago, there was a guy on Fox, he was like Spicoli, in Fast Times Would Not. He was like this blonde surfer guy who came in and he used the money all to get lobster tails. That's all he wanted.
Well, hold on. I got to be honest. Yeah, that's kind of bad, but there were people buying candy bars and soda pop, And lobster tail is like legit
it's protein,
right?
right.
You know?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's real food.
One of the I will not eat the bugs and buys lobster, but one of the things.
Well, hold on. If the bugs are underwater, it's totally fine.
Exactly, they're totally fine. But this is one of the things that's hilarious is the left continually like pushes to make life worse for the average person. So they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm soy facing over this new like ground up bug protein we're gonna feed people. Everyone should have this. It's good for the environment." And then you're like, maybe Snap shouldn't like pay for junk food. And they're, you want to dehumanize the poor by not letting them buy Coca-Cola and Twinkies on EBT? And it's like, hold on a second, why? Like, why are you okay doing awful things to me, but I can't even be like slightly concerned with where the tax money's going?
Seamus, let me tell you the legends of EBT, okay? You know what we used to eat in my neighborhood? The kids would make something they would call Happy. It's where you took a Kool-Aid pack and a cup of sugar and put it in a bag and shook it up and then just ate it. It was called Happy. And that's just people would make it.
It sounds like a drug name. It sounds like
when people would make Kool-Aid, you'd buy the Kool-Aid pack for like 15 cents. And then you're supposed to put 1 cup of sugar in the water and mix it up. Nah, it'd be like 3 or 4 cups. It would be like drinking syrup. And I was not a fan. That is what you need EBT for, diabetes.
Well, and this is the other thing. I think we've talked about this a little bit, but on top of, again, the program being widely abused, obviously there's some people who need it. I think we all agree on that. There's some people we don't want to take it from, but it is being abused. And then when people become extremely obese because of the food that they're buying on EBT, we end up having to pay for their medical bills as well. People don't even realize how much that costs.
Also, it disincentivizes people to get work. I was actually on EBT for a short period of time, and I knew that as soon as I got a job, I would lose it. And I'm like, okay, if I'm making $450 a week on unemployment, and I was like at $150 a month on food stamps, as soon as I get a job, I'm getting $700 a week. I'm just, instead of my $700 a week from unemployment and food stamps, now I'm working 40 hours a week to make the same amount of money.
Yeah. Or less.
Why would I get a job? Yeah, or less.
Yep.
And I was getting taxed on my unemployment, but I'm already getting taxed to pay for unemployment.
Funny.
Then when I get my insurance payout, they tax my insurance payout. So that you got to remove that incentive, and actually, when they get the job, they get food bonus. That would be very good.
Let's talk about packing the courts, though.
Yeah, how many people are like you right now? I mean, that whole thing of the 42 million could be half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's a major scam.
But think about what we could do if we end the filibuster beyond just these programs. I mean, the Republicans would just do literally whatever they wanted. Yeah. Or, I think Trump is right, because the reason I think Republicans don't want to get rid of the filibuster is because it would force them to do things they claim to want to do.
Exactly.
Obamacare should be repealed. We have the majority now, and they won't do it. They
won't do it. And you're exactly right. Why? Because
it's all
they don't want to be unmasked. They just want to say stuff and hide.
So right now, the filibuster, I'm trying to wrap my head around it, because the filibuster I always thought was a guy stood there for 20 hours. Now you're saying there's a new way that they do it?
It's not new. It's very old. Yeah. Basically, people in Senate were like, I don't want to sit here and listen to you talk for 20 hours. Let's just do a 60-vote thing instead. So they basically said, if you're going to filibuster, it's just a 60-vote threshold instead.
Oh, so no one has to make their claim. They just got to.
If they get rid of the filibuster, then they can change the rules to whatever they want them to be with a simple majority. I think the Senate is the worst thing imaginable. And I remember now when these leftists were saying abolish the Senate, and we were all like, no, are you crazy? Now I'm like, actually.
The only problem is mob rule. So you need a group of something that can prevent psychopathic.
Appeal the 17th.
And just let the governors appoint senators again?
State legislatures, but yes.
State legislatures.
That's what it was. Then we wouldn't have Cory Booker.
He would have found a way.
He's the filibuster guy of all time.
Yeah. Popular. Well, he did. Yeah, he went up there and he talked for 27 years and he broke a record or something.
It shouldn't be a popularity. It shouldn't be a, like, we were talking last night about this too, that they shouldn't be I don't think they should be getting paid. They should be working from home. They shouldn't have to go in unless the power goes out.
They're not getting paid.
Senators, they don't have a salary?
I'm pretty sure they're not getting paid. Like, they're going to get paid when the government turns back on.
Oh, I just mean in life.
Yeah, I think he means
serving that role should not be a paying position. That should be like a service you do, maybe like a stipend or something.
And the end result is only the ultra wealthy will be in the Senate, because how else do you feed your family when you have to work full time?
Well, listen, Tim, I think we should do things the old-fashioned way, and they should make their living not off of tax dollars, but good old-fashioned bribes.
Maybe it's right. Maybe having people in that role is no good. We need AI as the senators now.
Maybe we should just put the robots in charge of our lives.
Groups of robots that can tell us no.
That couldn't possibly go wrong.
We need a way to stop the mob, the democracy, from one day videos on YouTube that sparks rage in 43 million people, and then they say, we vote for drastic shift, and the Senate's like, no, you can't do that, we veto it. But so we need a source of the ability to veto. I just don't know if it has to be 100 people.
Well, the issue, I think, with the Senate, I think the Senate is fantastic. It's supposed to represent state interests, but the moves of the uniparty have consistently been to erode the states as political entities within the country.
That's right.
They want this country not to be of states, but a singular nation under the federal government. And, the sad reality is everything Democrats and Trump are doing are pushing us in that direction. Where if 10 years ago you said if Donald Trump gets elected, he's going to create a federalized police force, he's not getting elected. People would be like, yo, dude, that's crazy. Now Trump is like, I have no choice but to send ICE and DHS to deal with this crime, and everyone's cheering for it. Except for the Democrats, well, they'll complain about anything if Trump does it.
Yeah.
How long are you guys comfortable with this all going on with the ICE, like just in life? Like how long
What
would
does
you?
that mean?
Until every single one of them is gone.
So like, would you,
including
Until every illegal is out of the country.
what,
I'm
anyone,
with you 100%.
Yeah.
So like,
Get rid of
you would
them.
live in a permanent state of federal police in cities?
No, just until all of them are gone.
No, hold on.
What if it goes on
Deport
for
all the
100 years?
illegals. It won't.
Ian, the federal police are already in every place.
No,
Not vaguely, literally.
Not
they have
National
offices.
Guard. Not National Guard. That was
Ian,
a big deal.
Where do you think National Guard live?
Oh, I mean, just they're not serving on the street, like on patrol in anywhere other than D.C. They're not supposed to be anyway.
Not necessarily, but National Guardsmen and women live where they are.
And children, National Guard's children
That's
as
right,
well. Also.
That's right, the National Guard's children.
They all together, yeah.
That should
Child
never
soldiers.
happen.
Just have child soldiers out there.
Because I'm down for. I mean,
Fighting gangbangers in Chicago.
I think that like the dangerous, mass immigration, you could completely obliterate liberalism in our country with the wrong amount of people,
Lord
wrong
willing.
type of people in here. But like, how long would
hold
you
on,
be willing
maybe
to live
mass
in a police
immigration's
state
good. I don't know.
where like the police are ability to like go into people's houses and businesses and drag people out because they suspect them of being a
That's a
foreigner.
gross
illegal.
exaggeration of what's
Yeah,
happening.
I don't think like you should just be able to go in anyone's house and drag them out because you suspect that they're an illegal. But I think you should be able to deport an illegal. Like they know the person.
Maybe if they look like they're illegal.
If they look illegal, you're looking a little bit illegal over there.
Or
boy.
factories, if they go into a factory and like round up a bunch of employees that are here illegally.
Yes, absolutely. they
How
should do
long?
this.
How long would you be comfortable living in a
Forever.
world where the federal government?
until they're all gone.
Then what if they?
Forever, and I want every single factory with large numbers of illegal immigrants working there to get raided the moment.
So what if
they
it
do.
goes beyond immigrants? It's just other illegal things.
You're talking about a totally different.
I'm talking
circle.
about the
like,
evolution
you
of
mean if we had
totalitarianism.
No, you're not.
man.
You mean
Yeah.
if there
You're
were
basically-
people in the country who arrested you when you broke the law?
Heavens help us.
And then what if the laws get changed?
That was always subject to happen.
know.
And the laws did change.
And they do. They might again.
And guess what, Ian? It's illegal to put a pie on your windowsill in Boston on Tuesdays, and nobody's going to arrest you.
How long are you okay looking to the other side while the federal cops go in and do the brutal thing to solve the crime?
What?
Like
I don't know that it's brutal. I don't think it's brutal.
You're not even asking as a metaphor. Bad thing happens. Are you
6
okay
years?
with bad
Like
thing?
how long?
Hey, the whole thing about it.
should not take 6
what
years to get
brutal
rid of all of
crimes are they doing?
What's dragging people, grabbing people?
That's not illegal.
pulling people. I mean, it's just no. It's not what.
It's not illegal.
No, it's brutal. We're brutal.
Why is that brutal?
It's just force, physical grabbing,
not
pulling.
brutal.
If the people they're grabbing though are not cooperating at all.
That's the
So
argument.
what,
Not
are
like
they,
pu-
what are
yeah.
they supposed to do?
So it's not like it's
Let
like
them not cooperate?
Brutal is defined as savagely violent.
They're not
And this
like
is not that.
deporting them into Iron Maidens, right? They're like taking them and sending them back to the country.
not
that they
lassoing
came
them by the neck.
Let me try this. I want to explain to people the brutality. Someone breaks into your house, and you respond by going, "Ooh, I'm gonna give you a ride home."
Darn it.
Oh no, you're so brutal. You're giving them a ride. We put them on a plane and fly them back. We're not even loading them up in trains and having them go the long way.
And they're giving them money as they fly.
That's
back.
right.
I know. We give them,
Wait. They offered $1,000 to people to go home. Okay, watch this. Watch this, Ian. How savagely brutal. A guy breaks in your house and you go, "Wait, I'll give you $1,000 to leave." He's like, "That's what I'm here for. I was here to take your $1,000."
so. I guess relatively brutal.
It's like
should
that
make
old
an app.
television show.
Tim, here's what we have to do. We have to start a new tech company where we make an app to make robberies easier, where someone breaks in and then you give them
upstairs, second
$1,000
room on the left.
and then they go.
No. Hold on. Yes, but it should be like the Uber of robberies, where everyone downloads the app, and then if you're a robber, you send a notification you
Exactly.
intend to rob them, then they Venmo you, and you don't.
Extortion, but extort town or something like
That's
that.
like
Ian's. That's Ian's world.
And they have a deal with all the smart lock companies where it tells the robber like which doors are unlocked and stuff.
No.
Yeah.
The door unlocks for you.
12 doors unlocked today. Yeah, exactly.
Just unlocks, and it's like, don't hurt
Treat
anybody.
every night.
So I will say this. There are factories where there are illegal immigrants working, and they should be raided. And ICE and DHS, CBP, whatever, should go in and say, "Gentlemen and ladies, You are hereby arrested for being illegal, and we're sending you home.
Do you think they should have been raided like 9 years ago?
They should have been raided the moment anybody knew they were doing it.
Shouldn't have even been let in.
Which is probably much more than 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like 20 years ago in L.A., I worked with illegal immigrants.
Oh, listen, I'll tell you something. I hired them a lot of times. Sorry, but it's true. And, and the truth is everybody did. And then there were whole kind of methods where they hid it. There was a service that came to your house and said, well, our service will hire the illegal aliens for you. But they didn't tell you that. But that's what it was.
And then you would hire a company.
You hire a company.
Wow, so it was like a shield company so that you wouldn't get in trouble, basically? Is that how this?
Yeah, no one, Also, so you didn't have a guilty conscience.
And then,
I feel like you should still have a guilty conscience if you do that.
If the feds,
Let's
if
do
the feds
this.
had been busting up that ring back in the day when we were all working with doing the illegal thing, like it would have obliterated the economy.
Let's jump to this story. This is from time.com. The Trump admin is slashing the number of refugees allowed into the U.S. and giving white South Africans priority.
Oh, no.
Apparently, the number is going to be 7,500 refugees will be allowed in 2026, a 94% decrease from 125,000 set by Joe Biden. And he's going to give priority to primarily be allocating among Afrikaners from South Africa. I say, yes, excellent. There you go.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
These
there's
people
only
are.
one caveat to that. We better have a lot of babies of our own.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
If we don't, boy, we're in trouble.
We're done.
Ian.
Yeah, every
Well,
pension program.
This is the crazy thing is I saw one who will not be named because I don't want to give him any engagement who tweeted about this. Well, so this is just racism. I'm like, hold on. It's not racism when the majority of refugees are non-white, but then when the majority of refugees are white, now that's bad. Now that's racist. Well, then what does racism mean in that sentence?
Bad.
You tell
It means
me.
bad thing.
Yeah, it means bad thing, and anything good that is good for any white person is a bad thing.
Did you make the bad thing cartoon?
I did, yeah.
You want bad thing? You want bad thing? No, I don't. Yes, bad thing.
I guess you could say that, like when that Venezuelan gang took over the hotel or the in Colorado, that the people
Apartments.
around were actually where was it? The apartments.
apartment complexes.
They were kind of seeking refuge from the Venezuelan gang, so it's as if our own citizens are in refuge from.
Yeah.
Wait, hold
true.
on.
We are the refugees.
Ian just made a great point. No, not about that. When Tren de Aragua came to the United States, the first thing Trump should have done was kicked out every Venezuelan refugee because they're like, I'm afraid that the Venezuelan gangs will kill me. I got bad news for you. They're here too. So you gotta go. You're out.
Suffer elsewhere.
That's the play. Instead, Trump was like, we'll get rid of them for you. No. Trump, wait.
No, I love how the Democrats are like, we have to let them stay because they're fleeing from the bad people in their country. Also, we have to let in all the bad people from their country.
Is this Marge Simpson again?
No, I just lost my voice.
You keep
Homer, we have to let all the refugees in, Homer. Do you remember that episode? Homer,
that's right.
Tren de Aragua took over an apartment building in Springfield.
Bart joins Tren de Aragua.
Homer, Bart joined Tren de Aragua.
Isn't Tren de Aragua old news now? Isn't this
Yeah.
soulless something? What are they called?
Who? I haven't heard of them yet.
The
call
Sola
it
Scriptura. It's a
Solus?
Protestant gang that goes around and takes over apartment buildings.
Sinaloa, you mean?
Praise.
The cartels?
Yeah, there's a new one. Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
Sinaloa cartel is a
Well,
big
that's
deal.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no. This is Venezuelans. Something soulless.
Oh man. I don't know.
Anyway,
I just
you have
I
to
say
keep
gotta
up
go.
with these things, right?
You gotta go. Everyone's gotta go.
I think
they
they gotta go.
they deported a white guy and the left didn't care.
No, of course not. They want that. They're like, oh, good.
Yeah, that's the
They
one.
didn't even know if he was a
He
citizen
was
or
a cop.
not.
He was a cop too.
Well, this
It was
is
a white cop.
that dude. They would love that. They're like a white cop. That's their least favorite kind of person. They're like, good, send him back. Get rid of him.
I guess you do. So this is a test of liberalism that I can find right now. It's getting bombarded by first the internet and all the new ideas, and now the immigration and all the new people. It's like, how does liberalism deal with the bombardment, with the penultimate, like that we're facing? Are we going to become
Well,
communist technocracy?
They all
think-
moved to New York.
I think liberalism has been disproven at this point. So the issue with classical liberalism is that it works when you have a moral and virtuous people that are also willing to be brutal when the time comes. Within the borders of your society, you can embrace traditional or classical liberal values, but the moment you are unwilling to defend your borders and enforce your laws, liberalism fails. And that's why I say liberal is disproven. Not that it's an impossibility; it's short-lived. It can only last so long until a people become amoral and lacking virtue. And then they just say, like, this is what happens with the Christian conservatives in the United States. let me go back and put it this way. Mary was talking about repealing the 19th yesterday because women vote poorly, and I said, how are women able to vote? And then she's like, well, the point is because men allowed them to. There was a point where men said you can't vote, and then men said, okay, you can, and now they vote, and now you're mad about it. Well, it's the same thing of Christian conservatives. How did the United States go from being a dominant Christian conservative nation to whatever the heck is going on right now? The conservatives stood back and said, you do you.
It was basically the radio.
That's right.
Once the radio appeared, liberalism started getting splattered with all these new ideas, and then TV.
Conservatives embraced classical liberalism in the sense of,
it's true.
Live and let live. You do your thing.
That's exactly right.
Instead,
that's a big part of the problem. And not just classical liberalism, but a post-war DLC that got added to liberalism, which was like, actually, porn is free speech, and like, actually, obscenity is free speech, which were not things classical liberals initially thought.
Let me ask you, Seamus, do you think that the conquistadors are in heaven?
Some great number of them, sure. I can't claim to know anyone's eternal destiny, but no.
What do you mean you can't? Don't you know everything?
No, I don't know. I don't know everything.
Don't you know the eternal destiny of historical figures?
I know. I believe it or not, I don't know. But listen, I'm sure some of the conquistadors did do bad things. I'm also sure that by and large they were good men who were preventing a child sacrifice empire from slaughtering infants.
The reason I bring this up is that I mentioned this the other night. There was this, I can't remember what cartoon it was, but it was back when, I forgot how they phrased it. They said, going back to a time when men went to heaven for doing substantially worse things than anyone could do today. And it was an interesting point because it was like, you go back to the conquistadors, like Cortez and them, and they see the Aztecs, and they were like, they're sacrificing children doing these bad things. We got to stop them. Those men all believed they were going to heaven.
Well, and stopping people from sacrificing children is a good, noble thing to do.
But my point is, no one today could justify if the United States, well, I shouldn't say no one today could justify, but the people of this country would not tolerate the U.S. getting a bunch of troops and going on a crusade.
But it's
they wouldn't tolerate the U.S. going to the Sudan.
Right, exactly.
Well, it's a little bit different.
What's going on in Sudan is pretty much similar to
No, but hold on. They're
genociding
Christians in, where is it, Nigeria?
No, I know. Listen, no, I know. And I think...
And it would be an impossibility to mount a force to go and stop that from happening in the United States.
You're probably right about that. I do think one key difference, though, is when they went over and they found the New World and they sent people over to colonize it, more or less, the initial argument was like, we're going to try to first, well, obviously Columbus was trying to find a trade route and then discovered the land, but they were sending men over. And I don't think initially the thought was like, because again, they didn't even know what they were going to find. So initially the thought wasn't, we're going to stop these bad people from doing this. They stumbled upon it. And they're like, what? And when there's firsthand accounts from the men who saw this, and they're like, yeah, we met these people, and then they brought us through their city, and we literally like thought it was painted red, and then we realized it was blood.
Yeah. So, but my point is this: our troops in the Middle East are under these constraints and international laws about when they can or cannot engage.
Okay.
That the extremists were not they did not operate under these rules. So they'd be willing to blow up children.
Yes,
Same thing is true for Vietnam.
Same thing happened in World War II with Japanese fighters. Is they would like strap bombs to babies and stuff and hand babies to American soldiers. Take my baby, save my baby, and the baby would detonate.
My point is this: the beliefs of what was tolerable and heaven-worthy hundreds of years ago is a lot more brutal than today.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The constraints today are terrible.
I'm saying this. Yeah. I'm jokingly saying that the conservative movement in the United States is the second most liberal human civilization, next only to the left.
Yes.
Of modern America.
I completely agree.
I'm joking, though, because I know Sweden.
That's a victory of the left.
But Sweden exists. That's why I'm saying, I'm jokingly saying this, because obviously there are other left-wing Western factions, but American conservatives are, let me just put it this way. If the United States was magically just transposed 1,000 years ago, before, like, let's just say 1,000 years ago, America was overwritten by America today, the civilizations that existed at the time would look at us like a bunch of dainty little elves dancing through fields of flowers. They'd be like, what do you mean you don't slit the throats of anyone who looks
fatter, much fatter, dainty elves like rolling through the fields.
To be fair, we have guns, so we don't have much to worry about from 1,000-year-old people. My point is, if you took an American today, American conservative, and put him in an arena with a random guy from Europe 1,000 years ago, the European guy would be like, how many people have you flayed in your life? And they'd be like,
well, how about the Israelis not killing all the the terrorists that they locked up in prison. Every one of those
Dude,
guys.
they would have a medieval version of whatever podcast.
If they
What's
would have
nine
been
body
killed-
count, but it's the number
They would have been
killed.
killed instantly.
If Israel, the Israel-Palestine thing was happening 1,000 years ago, the joke is that it was.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
It was happening.
And what did Islam do? It conquered everything in the Middle East and North Africa and just massacred people and genociding Christians in Spain.
It was really the caliphate. Islam, I don't like to blame Islam for it. The caliphate was like the government that twisted Islam and used it.
I
That's right.
respectfully disagree.
The
though,
Hadith
because
says-
Muhammad was always
It's all
a wild
in-
man
it's
who
all
murdered
in the
people
Quran.
and
What do you mean?
raped
He's a warrior.
kid
He wasn't really a
and-
murderer. He's a warrior.
Well, hold on. Where do you? I'm surprised that you say that. Where do you draw the line between a warrior and a murderer?
He was fighting for his life with his people.
But he was waging offensive wars.
No,
So
wait,
he
hold on.
wasn't-
I'm sorry. I like Ian's idea.
Constantly
Like,
offensive wars.
yeah, he was
No,
aggressive.
but
he was
everywhere.
wars of unification. You know, he wasn't
yeah,
out
right.
to like
If
massacre
I
the
wanted to
population.
unify the property across the street with my property, I'm entitled to go kick the guy's door in.
He was a
and-
conqueror
It
like
was
Genghis Khan. You know,
from the driveway to the tree.
I mean,
Freedom
the
is
world's
stand, we'll be
filled with
free.
countries that were once other things that are now Islamic. How did that happen?
They stole it, bro.
probably the caliphate was the biggest. The
You know,
caliphate,
not just the
after-
caliphate, the actual religion.
I think we don't steal land enough.
It's in the religion. It's in the,
Why-
it's
why-
in the
why-
Quran.
And this is why this is what I always say about the matter. When Christians don't act like Jesus, we're disappointed, and when Muslims don't act like Muhammad, we're relieved.
Exactly.
The way that religion started was just him and his barbarians going out and murdering people and forcing them to convert.
Not quite. It was a bunch of disparate
true. There was also a
tribes
lot
that
of,
were-
like,
there was
pedophilia
a lot of
and
chaos
rape.
and murder and just general persecution. And he fought to unify those people so that would slow down because he wanted.
Oh, he didn't
order.
want
Guys,
to slow
listen,
down.
listen.
He
Did you read
took
that
over
Al
the
Jazeera?
world.
Ian is just pointing out that life under Sharia today is better than in liberal
Well, I
democracy.
think just like the Romans came along and abused Christianity for their purposes, that the caliphate came along and abused Islam for their purposes. It was supposed to empower women in the
and who
beginning.
started the caliphate?
Islam was supposed to empower women in the beginning.
yeah,
Muhammad
Muhammad
had a
gave them-
9-year-old bride.
But he gave women.
He was
Yes,
literally
hold
a
on.
child
That's
rapist.
not fair. He didn't have relations till she was 12.
No, I think she was actually a 6-year-old bride, and he didn't have relations
Until
until
she was 9. Yeah,
She was literally a 9-year-old.
No, you're right.
Yeah, he's a
absolutely
child
right.
rapist.
Yeah,
They wanted to give women.
I don't know where you get this dreamy knowledge of
Ian wants to live
Have
under
you spent
Islamic
much
law.
time over there?
Ian is
No,
a
I've spent
insular
a lot.
Caliphate's.
Listen, I get it.
I've been in the Sudan.
Ian
No,
understands.
it's crazy.
I don't
Ian-
deny
Ian-
it, but I think
Ian-
the caliphate really fucked that
It's
religion.
not the
Ian wants-
caliphate. It's the religion itself. It's all in the Quran and the Hadith.
Ian
Oh,
wants
just go read it.
Islamic law so that he can get a bride.
No, man. Hey, I'm not a fan of government religion, and I think the caliphate is. I don't know enough to start blaming it for things.
What do you think about the Hadith,
ad hominem
Ian?
thing. I have never read the Hadith, but the caliphate came
But
after.
do you agree with the with like the tenet of these?
Most religions I find are extreme. I just think why adhere? You know, why not live more fluidly
religion?
with reality? Yeah.
Then why are you defending a religion that literally wants to kill?
Because I don't want to slander Islam because of what the caliphate did to it.
No, I'll slander them for wanting to kill the Jews.
Not just the Jews.
Yeah.
They kill Christians.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, but could you slander the
It's
Christians
all
for wanting to
in-
kill the Muslims? I don't know.
See,
some did, yes.
Seamus, how many
Some
crusades
did,
were there?
But it wasn't
remember exactly.
legislated
There was 9,
in
but
the
I don't-
religious doctrine.
I think there was 9.
big
Let me double
difference.
check.
It would be like commanded by the Pope.
It's funny how like America under Christianity is fallen to communists, and Islam under all of their theocratic states has expanded and gained more control. And
Well, because here's the sad thing. America isn't under Christianity. There's many Christians here, but really America's under liberalism. And that's
Yes,
why it's fallen, 'cause
exactly.
Christians haven't asserted their will. They haven't asserted their
Since the
values.
radio- Why is that? You think it's because entertainment is more powerful
Yes.
than religion?
No, so the way people get their values is through story, it's through entertainment. And as I mentioned, for literal decades, all of the entertainment media in this country has been dominated by people who hate Christianity. Frankly, most of them historically were either communists or communist sympathizers, but ultimately they're people who hate Christianity.
And
They hate our way
that,
of
way
life.
back in early Hollywood, not true. Those guys who came here from Eastern Europe, the Warners and all those people, were very pro-American and were not liberals.
And then there,
It started to creep
That's
in,
why
though.
it started to get worse. But the original group were the opposite.
and then the McCarthy era, they were talking. I was just reading about this last night. There was communist infusion into the entertainment industry.
Absolutely.
Communism?
Communism.
Communism.
And McCarthy went in and was like blacklisting actors and writers and people in the industry because they were affiliated with communism or suspected of being affiliated with communism. And this is a huge
That's an idea, Seamus.
He was largely
for a
right.
bit.
Listen, I know those people. I
Like
know
the
them.
left is embracing it.
Personally.
This is a huge. I mean, the way that communism got into our entertainment industry was like in the 50s.
There's a great book about it called Red Star Over Hollywood. And what was really interesting, the playwright John Howard Lawson, who was a big party member, would read the screenplays before they were delivered to the studio by the writer to make sure they were okay with the party. It's a fantastic
With the communists?
thing that happened.
Sorry, go ahead.
This happened. And then what was interesting about it, though, was that Lawson was smart enough not to not let them be too propagandistic.
Well, and this is
So he could hide what was going on.
this is part of what we're trying to do with Twisted Plots. Our second episode is, I don't want to spoil it too much, but without saying the word communism or without talking about like economics, it through the story refutes like a lot of the core values of communism. TwistedPlots.com, support the show, help us get this.
Communism doesn't work because it turns into vanguardism. Always. The last two times they tried it in Soviet Union and China, they became vanguardist states.
But it's
if they had a real communist state where there is no state and the people just
They'll
own
never-
property,
I disagree.
They'll never-
because
Ian,
the
you are
core-
so
you'd have to
wrong.
have permanent electricity, always attached to the grid, and smart contracts flipping so there's no middlemen.
It's not possible, Ian.
It would be such a hard thing to do.
But Ian,
There's
here's the
no way
reality.
to create a
Communism-
self-sustaining terrarium of Earth.
right,
Communism
and
doesn't
that's
work.
the ideal. That's why it doesn't work. It turns into the small group running
not just
everything.
that. It's not just that. Communism is wrong about the core assumptions with respect to human nature and human evil. It asserts that the reason people do things improperly or do things wrong or like commit moral crimes is because of resource scarcity. And reality is just this combination lock. And if we arrange material things in the proper way, we'll unlock the gates of heaven and it'll be utopia. But the reality is there was no poverty in the Garden of Eden. People sin even when they have everything they could possibly need. You could create the perfect communist utopia. People would still murder each other. People would still rape. People would still fornicate.
Let me add to that. The story, I've told this before, my friend from Ukraine at her apartment said, she was in an apartment, and she said, you want to hear a funny story about that apartment? During the Soviet era, with Ukraine under control of Soviets, there were two families that lived in these apartments. They didn't like each other. So one family called the police and said, I heard that family talking bad about the party. The next day, the apartment was cleared out and gone.
Yeah.
They didn't do that because there was an actual monetary dispute or resource scarcity. They just plumb didn't like the other person because this is how people can be.
That's totalitarian
you
states.
got it.
But that's the problem with vanguardism is it's totalitarian and they'll
No,
use fear.
Ian.
Yeah. But in a real
Vanguardism is
communist
immaterial.
state,
No. Listen, I'll put it simply. If I am told that doing extra work will net me nothing, then I'm not going to do the extra work.
but what if you like it?
So what do I get for this is a false assumption about what you like. Some people might like, okay, I'll put it this way. I like talking on camera and doing shows. I do a consistent number of shows because I know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If someone came to me and said, you can go ahead and record 4 shows per day, but you're not going to be able to expand your business or do anything else, I'd be like, okay, well then I'll do 1 per day and go hang out with my family. There's literally no reason to do it. You can do it as much as you'd like to, but most people, I'll put it this way. Let me just pause. Ian, do you like playing guitar?
I do.
If you had the option, would you choose to have that be your career?
One of my careers, yeah, at least for a period of time.
No, not one of your. Someone said, Ian, sign this contract. You will play guitar, and we will pay you a salary, and that's all you'll have to do.
Nothing else. You'll never be allowed or able.
But your job, you'll have hobbies, but your job is to play the guitar. Yes or no?
I'd say yes.
Of course.
I would
Do you
look at the
think there are-
contract.
do you think there are a lot of people who would do that?
Oh, a minority of people, but a large minority of people. Yeah, I think.
You think
The
it's
artists-
a minority of people that want to be?
2 to 6% of the population would say yes to something like that, but that's a lot of people.
So,
guitarists, you know, they
of
love
the
that.
people who play guitar, how many do you think would take it?
All of them, probably.
And do you think all of them have the ability
No,
to do that?
no. And you
Of
get like
course, they don't.
1% of them
That's
would be
why
worth it.
communism doesn't work.
because it
Because
takes away
you're-
capitalists.
No, because some
incentive.
people shouldn't be guitarists. And all it's these communists are like, once communism's attained, I'll go live on a farm. No, you won't. You'll break rocks and you'll enjoy
Even
it.
shitty
One of my
guitars can
favorite
feed the
memes-
AI algorithm in a communist state. Like
One of my favorite memes is somebody
can't.
posted, like, what would your job be after the communist revolution? And someone posted anti-communist guerrilla fighter.
Like in a real communist state, there is no state, there is no communist. It's just a thing where we
The
all.
withering away of the
It's not
state was
possible.
the dream of Marx, but it's never anything like it.
Marx was all about the
Ian's-
constant overthrowing of.
You're correct.
Different.
In communism, there's no state, and also in Candyland, there are candy canes growing.
Right. Communism is ideal. It is an ideal, but you can get closer
RFK
to
hates Candyland, bro.
Because
He's
the
like,
thing
we
about
need to
the
invade.
U.S. is
We need to invade Candyland.
limited
Destroy
government.
us. That's his fentanyl.
down the candy
That's like
canes.
his Mexico. We need to build a wall around Candyland. It's like his version of Mexico.
we always wanted like less government.
I mean,
small government.
communism is essentially
'cause of the
the
fentanyl that
most
comes into the
successful
southern borders.
oligarchy
Oh,
imaginable.
What is?
Communism is the most successful oligarchy.
That's vanguardism.
Yeah,
That's
it's a similar kind of thing. That's what it does.
They say it's
I mean,
communism. They get people excited, and then they betray them and make a vanguard.
No,
At a
no,
deeper level,
no,
like
they
I'm
don't.
saying,
Every time.
It's not
No,
just
they
about the
don't.
structure. It's not just about the structure. A lot of times when the right critiques communism, it'll talk about why
Okay.
it doesn't work economically. But like the actual core claims of communism are just not
Let me
true.
try this. Let me try this for Ian. Candylandism always devolves into a bunch of rotting sugar in a cornfield. And the response is yes, because Candyland's not real. So when you say communism turns into vanguardism, it's like saying Candyland, bro. Communism can't exist. It's. How about this?
I know.
I propose a government where everyone grows wings and flies around.
Red Bull.
it's kinda
Help
like
with that. Let's look
We
into
have
it.
a
Red Bull is
limited government in the United States.
the unstoppable tide of the Red Bull army.
Communism. They always tell you like, hey, even more less government. We'll have even less government.
Yeah, well,
We'll have
I
no
just wanna
government.
But I hear you. But let me. Here's a point that I'll make, and just I'm curious what you think of this. So, one thing that communism absolutely needs on a global scale, not just in one family or one community or one country, even on a global scale, it requires everyone to have the exact same values and interests. Now, just think about this for a second.
Except the leaders.
Even in a family, well, yeah, but we're talking about their fantasy version. Even in I won't ask about your family on
Dig in,
air.
Seamus.
But no. But I'm just curious about like if you have had siblings or know anyone with siblings.
Yeah.
Your sibling is more genetically similar to you than anyone you're going to meet, and you're raised in the same house, in the same area, in the same environment, and even siblings are so radically different. So if siblings can't even be raised with such similar genetics and such a similar environment and being born at such a similar time to be similar people, how on earth could we re-educate the entire globe into accepting communism?
I don't think we need
it's
to
not
be
even
the
about
same.
re-educating. It's functionally impossible.
But that's one of the
There are
reasons.
resource fluctuations in economics. Communism cannot account for.
You would need such a super state.
No,
you would
you
have to
can't.
have a
No.
constant flow of information and data.
You need a different kind
You
of
need to
human
stop and
being.
let me finish, okay? The point is sometimes crop yield is low. Your superstate can't do anything about that.
Yes.
You have fertilization.
Except starve Ukrainians and say it's their fault because
We
they
haven't
weren't working hard
had
enough.
starvation in the United States in like 200
you are
years or something.
incorrect.
Ever, if ever.
And for me to for you to get to where you need to be to understand this would take too long
I'm
for a
saying
show
it's
of
an
this
ideal
nature.
that would be near impossible to hit.
Not near impossible, literally impossible.
No, not zero.
It is
Not
zero.
zero.
It
that's why.
absolutely is.
That's why it gets people enticed. It's
It's
not
zero. It is. It's zero.
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
it can work in small scale. and then you can
Population
slowly
can't
build
grow
it.
forever, and crop yield can't be expanded forever. That means that if a human population that is receiving enough food. Okay, let's simplify it. A human being needs 100 units of food. Why? They need energy to get up and live their lives. They need a certain amount of time for recreation. They need to be able to reproduce. Humans are driven to reproduce. That means any amount of food that is acceptable for human satisfaction is enough food for them to create another human. This leads to the point with every single biome on the planet that when a species reaches equilibrium with its food source, they all start starving. This happens to deer outside. Children know this. That's why we have to go hunt deer. They eat all the leaves, then they're all sickly and starving, and they struggle to reproduce. Then they get ravenous and dangerous. So we cull them down. Communism cannot work because fluctuations in economics is a 100% guarantee.
That's right.
There will always be a circumstance where the food amount will reach equilibrium and a starving man will say, I will kill you to feed my daughter.
You're assuming that you'll never get to a point where you're able to make enough food for a growing population?
So you're saying that humans will expand infinitely on the planet?
Well,
just
we
forever.
are, but we're dying
we're
off
not.
at the same speed. We're
No.
repopulating and dying and growing. We're constantly, forever, we have always been growing, but we've also always been dying.
Okay, human population has only ever expanded.
The total.
There have been
no, there have been dips. There have been huge
plagues,
dips in population.
and-
He's saying overall, though. He's saying
the
like
overall
like
trajectory.
1,800
Be
people
careful
at
with that
one
movement.
Yeah, sorry. I just realized. I was like, someone's going to think my heart was
Point
going
is
out to
this.
them.
Humans have a biological imperative. It's not an opinion. They want to have babies. We see this everywhere. When any species reaches equilibrium with its resources, they begin to struggle and suffer and starve. And then you get conflict and crisis. That's why communism is impossible.
But that doesn't. That's a
0%.
non sequitur. I don't see how that, because that capitalism also. That's why we have starving people on the street in capital. That's why we have food stamps, because
But
The
capitalism-
starving people is the function I am talking about. Sometimes people die. And they will starve, and there's nothing you can do about it. Communism tells everybody there will be no government, it'll be stateless, and we'll all just work together. Well, guess what? Sooner or later, you get an unforeseen storm you can't control, and the wheat crop is ruined. The people who live there they're going to say, I will not watch my daughter die, and I will eat a human corpse if I have to.
Yeah.
And we've seen it throughout history. Communism can't work for these reasons.
well, I mean, if you had a famine, even in a capitalist state, people would eat each other.
Exactly. Capitalism
Yes.
doesn't
Yeah.
presuppose a utopia where there's no government
No,
or
neither does
system.
communism. Doesn't
No,
presuppose
communism
utopia.
is a utopia.
It doesn't.
It's a utopian movement,
It's a fluid
yes.
motion of state ownership. That's all it is, dude.
The whole point is you're creating a utopia where there's no state, there's no hierarchy, everybody lives in equality.
What better
there's no
guy's
need for
going to be more
family.
popular? Like, what are you talking about? It's total
you're right,
hierarchies
but-
are going to be.
I don't.
But
hold
you're
on, hold on.
explaining
Okay,
why
okay,
it doesn't
wait.
work. You're
I think
explaining why it doesn't work.
Guys,
You know,
hold
I
on,
may be-
hold on.
I have been in communist countries a lot.
But they're not truly.
We're going to move on.
Well, wait a minute.
We're going to.
I was
Okay,
in
next
China
subject. Next subject.
in
Moving on to the
79.
next story. I'm gonna wrap it up by saying this. There's no point in arguing communism with someone who doesn't know what he's talking about.
I 100% know what I'm
You have
talking about right
changed
now.
your position on what communism is 3 or 4 times already.
No, I have not. Communism is state owner. It's where there is no state. It's where everyone collectively owns the stuff. There's no. You might not even need money at that point because it's about work and resource. And if you have enough resources and you can get them to where they need to go, and there's a fluid system that never turns off, you might be able to reduce the size of the government. Call it whatever you want, but. That's my point. That's my definition.
How does a carpenter get a meal for the day in this system with no money?
Well, there's a lot of different ways. I
Give
mean,
me
you could grow
one.
your own in your house. You could get it shipped to your
carpenter.
house.
Why is it? Wait, what do you mean your own?
Hold on, come on,
Everyone's
guys.
entitled to it.
If we're just gonna keep.
I mean, you put it in your
is-
mouth.
this is-
It's your food. You know.
I have a few simple questions. We're going to the next subject. A man is a carpenter, not a farmer. He doesn't know how to farm. He needs food. What does he do?
Gets it from the grocery store. Gets it.
Okay, so you just hand it to him for free?
Or he was.
That's
You know
what-
what he'll do? He'll hit the nails in the thing, and it'll trigger a smart contract that lets him get his food.
What's a smart
supply.
contract?
It takes out. It's like paying someone money.
You're,
but it's a
you're
digital
sounding
version.
like a Mamdani supporter right now.
Now, I'm
Yeah,
not saying it's a
kinda
good thing. I'm just pointing out this is a thing.
grocery
What you're describing is
store.
impossible.
Free grocery
We're going to move on to this
You work
subject.
for-
I'm going
you
to say
still
this.
work for it.
There was a food substance called Soylent that was being developed in 2013. The company behind it said, "We're going to make a neutral food product to provide all of your necessary nutrition in a single food product." And then they realized, "Hey, that's impossible." Why? Every single person has a different requirement for the amount of potassium, magnesium, salts, fats, carbohydrates, otherwise, because humans are all dramatically different. So then they realized you cannot make a food product that will allot to you everything you need in one go. So they said, how about this? You can eat the Soylent, but you need one real meal of something totally different, at least, per week, one full meal with all the nutrition to supplement what you're not getting, because your body will spit out what there's too much of. And now Soylent has just become a protein shake because they realized, it doesn't work even in that capacity. The idea that you would have one day to eat whatever you wanted and the rest you eat this didn't work because your requirements on a daily basis for various nutrients fluctuates. One day you have too much iodine, one day you don't. No single food product is going to give you everything you need. It's impossible. There has to be a give and take in the system, meaning the system at scale requires a universal trade medium, money. Soviet Union had some structures of money, and even the communist Chinese realized you need a monetary system and a degree of free trade. Moving on to the next story.
Hold up. Let me point this
Oh,
out.
we gotta-
The opposite of communism is corporatocracy. So
What?
I'm looking for a middle ground. The opposite of
isn't.
state ownership of corporations is megacorps that are their own governments that produce their own.
it's not.
Yeah, I mean, what's the middle ground
The middle ground of what?
between the two economic structures?
So we in the United States are what's called the mixed economy, where we have about 55% socialism and 45% market capitalism.
But we're really a corporatocracy.
Maybe, but that's a political infrastructure.
It's economic. The corporations, corporate governance,
it's a political
DEI.
infrastructure, and political infrastructures have control over economics. Yes, we agree. But the Federal Reserve is a structure of government, and they use to control our economy. So you could pass laws and have a culture that says we won't tolerate large corporations lobbying. That has nothing to do with whether or not you have a balance between free market and socialist policies. Jumping to the next story from Polymarket. The odds of Trump saying the N-word in November surge. 17% chance. And they posted this. It says, Oh, wait. Oh, it's the link. I didn't realize that was a link. Will Trump say the N-word in November? And they're lying to you. It's not. It's the contract is this. What will Trump say in November? This market will resolve to yes if Donald Trump mentions the listed term. The listed term is N-word, not the N-word. What they're saying is Trump is going to go, the N-word, nuclear, not literally spitting out a racial slur.
Right.
But Polymarket is tricking you into thinking the N-word, in quotes. They put the, which is not the contract. I think this is actually false advertising, and I'm kind of offended by it, to be honest. I know it's a funny post, but the N-word is a reference to a racial slur, and they're trying to tell people that Trump has a 17% chance of saying it.
Yeah, well, it's just really nonsense. But
Indeed.
But his chance of saying the other N-word is already over. He said it.
He said nuclear?
Yeah.
No, but he hasn't said the phrase N-word.
I thought you were saying the other. I thought you were saying not nuclear. For a second, I was like, wait, why miss that?
I will admit, there is a non-zero chance Trump does say the actual racial slur in November. I just think it's a very, very, very low
level.
Poll, yeah. If he sees the poll will raise, it's
what
like
if Trump
the observer.
does, and it's like he takes out a huge bet. Like, so on Polymarket right now, the trade volume is $35,000. So there's not a lot of money to be made if he does. But what if like tomorrow it jumps up to like 10 million? And then Trump comes out and says it and wins all this money.
I'm gonna
It's like, it was a lot of money. I had to do it.
hold back anymore.
Right.
It's going to feed my family. Yeah.
Well.
The other words available are mustache.
Oh, these are words that Trump will
Look at
say
this.
in November.
There's $11 volume on the word Pope. People aren't betting on whether he'll say Pope. Crooked Joe, $4 in Banana Republic. Bitcoin's pretty high. Bernie, if he drops an F-bomb, has Trump dropped an F-bomb?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he is. When he said they don't know what they're doing.
I know, but that was like one time. I mean, like it's not like a common thing.
Well, that's why it's got to be low odds, right?
Look at this. 98% chance he says Thanksgiving.
Of course. I can't believe there's a 2% chance.
And then N-word.
Thank goodness the war on Thanksgiving is over.
My thoughts.
Peanut.
I think my head's in the gutter because all I'm thinking about is someone making an AI video of him saying all these words and just reaping the benefits from Polymarket.
What if Trump came out and was like, I'm going to read a list of words to you right
how
now,
do they register whether he said it? That's it. The real question is how they register, whether he said it or not, to whom and where. And
the AI video right now is to the point where a year from now, these midterms are going to be the wildest midterms we've ever seen.
Yep.
You're going to see videos of members of Congress. I'm warning y'all, it's not going to be Donald Trump saying the N-word. That is too obvious. It's going to be a video of Trump at a press conference saying something kind of bad but believable.
Yes.
Where he was just like, we've got too many black people on welfare. So I think people need to say it. Then it's going to go viral in the black community, and they're going to be like, don't vote for Trump.
In 2 minutes. Yeah. Now. Already.
That's right now, all Sora 2 does is put a watermark that bounces around.
And if you pay, it doesn't even have a watermark.
It does have a watermark.
Takes it off. If you download your own videos and you're paying $200 a month, it does.
I have that, and it's on all the videos.
No, mine has none. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Maybe
Maybe because I'm printing my own name on my own account. I don't use other people's. If you use other people's it prints Sora on it. It does.
Yeah, but I've made a bunch of videos. I posted them, and they have the Sora on it. But you can easily remove it. That's the point. You can go into Premiere and easily.
Oh, yeah, mine don't. I mean, if you go on my Instagram, my videos don't have any Sora watermark. No watermarks. Yeah. Totally indiscernible, bro. It's getting.
I'm gonna make AI videos of Seamus stealing spoons. That way, he can't ever refute it.
Well, the thing is, you would have to make AI videos of that because I've never done that, and I never would do that.
He kept taking Tim's spoons and he won't admit it.
I never did that before. I've never done that. You know me. You know I would never do that. So
actually, the truth is, he gave me spoons.
Exactly. I gave Tim spoons, and no good deed goes unpunished. For that, I was maligned and smeared. Smeared.
You want to talk about AI, bro? What do you think, dude?
Yeah, you
are like old
I'm
school.
staring at these words. The choice of these words is Elon Musk, 69%.
Yeah, he and Elon are patching things up.
Yeah, that's already been patched, hasn't it?
He's talking highly of him the other day.
Yeah.
Tylenol, that's up 2%. There's a better chance than yesterday. Peanut, this is a weird website. I don't know. We got to stay grounded. I keep asking, like, how do we stay grounded in the AI revolution? Because all my brain keeps wanting me to go there.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Trump intentionally puts himself into Sora and says, have fun, make videos, because then you can never smear him. Any video that comes out of Trump saying something nasty, you can be like, the kids are playing with AI.
It's not real. It's not about.
Yep. We've already seen a little bit of this where I can't remember what the story was. Some leaked audio came out and they claimed it was AI, and we don't know if it was or wasn't. There's been actually a handful of stories like this, but we're at the point now where I wouldn't be surprised if some of these like younger Gen Z politicians intentionally put themselves into Sora so that you can never malign them.
Except with their group chats.
Yeah.
Well, you can't even do that. Because they're going to be like, that wasn't me.
That wasn't me. That was my image. Right.
Or no, not even that. Like with the group chats, the funniest thing is if you could literally just be like, oh, that's not my account.
Yeah. I think everybody, not just politicians, everybody's going to have to do it.
You could do this now. If the Wall Street Journal came to Seamus and was like, we have group chats where you're saying, the Holy Land belongs to Rome. Yeah. Seamus could literally be like, that's not me.
And I'll say that right now.
But you could literally just go, that's not me. And they'll be like, but it says Seamus Coggin. I'll be like, yes, someone just made a fake user.
When I hear you saying that, I'm thinking of doing it. I mean, I can see everybody doing that who has any kind of public profile within 2 years. Everybody.
I think about it as like,
not just politicians.
But we're in a sink, all spiraling around this drain, and the drain is like that, is like putting your likeness going into the machine, and people are trying to resist it, but it's like, maybe we can refill the sink, and if you did resist it, you're never going to go down that drain. But likely right now, we're all going down the drain, so you can dive in intentionally right now and get down there first, and then help build that realm down there, whatever's down there, down that unknown.
Okay. That's Ian's excuse for telling everyone to use his videos. And
I went long into this. It was terrifyingly unknown, but at the same time, like, why not?
I got a handful of really great videos where Ian finds a monkey paw, and then he says, I wish I could fly, and then painfully turns into a goose while screaming. It's not doing a good job. A lot of these videos are horrifying. One of them, it's Ian, but he just has a goose head on his normal body, and he's freaking out.
Yeah, we should show
They're
some
really
of those.
fun.
Bizarre.
I'm saying no to all of this, and what you should do is buy a house far, far away, build a garden so you have enough land to feed just your family, and get some animals and buy some guns and build a fence.
And support twisted plots so that you can also have good entertainment.
I have twisted AI plots where I just literally told AI to make Freedom Tunes videos, and it does.
Well,
we've tried. Chris and I were messing around with that. It does not do it.
I made one, and it looked nothing like Freedom Tunes, but it was a cartoon, and it was like two guys going like this. And one guy looked like Uncle Sam, and one guy looked like a skateboarder. And I was like, and they were saying like nonsense.
That's kind of what my cartoons usually do.
Would you
It makes no sense.
If you could put your cartoons into an AI system like Sora and integrate where everyone could make your cartoons?
Oh no, my goodness, no, I don't think so.
What if you got paid?
No, I would no.
Every time they did it?
No, I don't think so.
Even like $1,000 a second?
Don't think so. No.
Really?
$2,000 a second.
Why no?
When I think about it.
It's because they would be speaking with your...
So here's the thing. The reason I started doing this myself is because I want to maintain control over it, and I don't want large corporations being able to tell myself or my team what we can and can't make. And then more importantly than that, as far as AI integration goes, because you might be right that it's just inevitable that AI is going to become integrated in all the tools that we use every day. If AI becomes integrated into animation, what I would like to see happen is a system where AI does some of the mind-numbing busy work. Maybe it cleans certain things up or colors certain things in for you, but I want the creative work to be done by humans, and I would be devastated. I would be devastated if we ever got to a point where I was not able to hire my team to continue to make these videos, because there's a team I've built up over years of doing this, and we all work together, and I don't want to be in a situation. I would never want to replace them with AI, and I would hate if there was a situation where it was like literally not possible to hire them anymore because of some algorithmic change.
Oh boy.
So that's that's the concern, and that's also part of why I'm branching out. I think it's important to make entertainment. I also really value my team. They're awesome people who I've worked with for a long time, and the idea of replacing them with a computer, again, I'm fine with a computer aiding in the process to some degree, but the idea of replacing human artists with a computer, I don't like it.
Well, they're taking credit. You know, I just had an experience like that because I had ChatGPT read my new novel, which is coming out in a couple of months. Okay, so it reads the novel instantly. It's 300 pages. Then it gives me the front pages that you have on every book, you know, the title, dedication, blah, 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 including a cover. The cover was very good and right on point. And it said in the copyright page where it always says those things, it said cover by ChatGPT and Roger Simon.
Wow.
And I went, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, good for you.
I got terrified by it. It just for similar reasons. And I went out and hired a human being.
Good for you, man.
But I'll tell you, it's all over. And, you know, because I was a good guy once, doesn't mean I'll be a good guy in 10 years.
And by the way, I'll say like,
You know what I mean? And
one thing, and I will mention, I'm not like, listen, there are obviously people using AI to make things who would never hire someone because they'd never be able to afford to. So that's different. That's totally different. Like they're just making memes or whatever. That's different to me. But when a big studio starts replacing humans with AI, that's when I get concerned.
What if
but they're doing it all over.
I know.
if your people could put out 5 times more work because all they need to do is draw still images now, and the AI will animate it for you, and then you can make 5, 10 times more content.
So
and still pay
to
them the same
me,
amount.
and that's sort of what I'm getting at. The ideal situation, maybe it wouldn't be 5 times the content, but the ideal situation and what I'm hoping to do as the technology grows is use it in a way where it can make each team member more productive rather than trying to replace people. Like I said, if there's a way where the AI like takes your rough drawings, like you draw the characters, you design them, you do all the roughs, you make the thumbnails, everything, you do all the creative work in the animation process, and then the AI like colors certain frames for you once you've already colored in the main keyframe.
Like music.
Or keyframes. Yeah, where like it can fill things in for you, but it doesn't replace your people.
Well, so that's coming soon. Right now with the music stuff that we worked on is I actually played in the IRL backstage earlier. If you want to join the IRL backstage pass, Fridays, timcast.com, click join us. I played about 10 seconds from a song. Here's what happened. I wrote a song on my guitar. I played it on my acoustic into the microphone and sang it. Uploaded it to Suno and said, this is my song. Here's what we want in full production. It made an AI-generated version, which I then gave to Carter and said, this is the vision for the finished piece. Carter then actually reproduced it with human effort. But what it did was it made it so that I could create a bunch of iterations and say, this is my vision. And then Carter goes, I see what you're saying. And then we got a real singer and we got real instruments and Carter played the instruments and did all that stuff.
And it'll give
Well,
you like
that sounds great right now. What scares me when I hear it is that in 2 years, Carter, whoever he is, I don't know, would be irrelevant, and that what came out of the AI would be so much better than anything humans could.
It is. It already is. So one of the issues.
So what do you do then? You're being a good guy by hiring your guy.
Here's what's going to happen. Right now, I play a song on my guitar, upload it to Suno.
Right.
It spits out a song. But in this one song we wrote, it could not hit this half step up in the key. Mm-hmm. So it goes, it's like A and then A sharp, but it didn't understand it, so it kept dropping back down, which is a problem. We are almost there. I'd say in a year or maybe 2 years, you'll have voice command AI. You'll play the song, and then it'll go, got it, working on the song now. All right, here's what I've got. It'll play the song back, and you'll go, stop. You keep dropping a half note. It goes up a half note, and it'll go, got it, let me fix that.
Well, here's one thing that I really hope human artists will always be valuable for. This is like optimistic and pessimistic at the same time. We all know that the companies that produce this stuff are going to be owned by bad people, and there are going to be certain things they'll prevent you from making, and you will need humans to make those things.
Seamus, not bad people, but
different people with different values.
Bad
robot.
Santa.
I'm disappointed.
Bad news.
What Simpsons reference is this?
It's not a Simpsons. It's a Biden reference.
Oh, bad dudes who run a bunch of bad boys.
Exactly.
You pay.
We quote Joe Biden on this.
You pay your artists. Still, do you pay them hourly or do you pay them per project?
I'm not sure how much of that information I really want.
Well,
let
me answer
private
this.
agreements.
Then
But
I'll answer-
we do.
He doesn't so much.
It was more rhetorical.
They're all unpaid.
It was more of a rhetorical thing, but I think in the future, as it's easier to
And
produce
also it
more,
depends- it
it's
depends-
less about how long it takes and more about what have you pumped out.
Yeah, well, I think it's because it varies depending on the project, depending on the person, that kind of thing.
But so the hourly thing, I think, is a relic. It's becoming a relic thing because if you can get it done so fast and it's as good, why sit around?
When you beat your employees, do you find that
But every hour or every project?
overhand or backhand works better when they disobey?
No, dude, my workers beat me. It's horrible. They bully me. They smack me around. I'm like, stop it!
Do you still have the bullwhip I gave you?
Let's jump to the story from
They
the
took
AP.
it from me.
Guys. From the AP, Justice Department investigating fraud allegations in Black Lives Matter movement, AP sources say. The DOJ is investigating whether leaders in the BLM movement defrauded donors who contributed tens of millions of dollars during racial justice protests in 2020, according to multiple people familiar with the matter. In recent weeks, federal law enforcement officials have issued subpoenas and served at least one search warrant as part of an investigation into the BLM Global Network Foundation and other Black-led organizations that helped spark a national reckoning on systemic racism, said the people. We're not authorized to discuss an ongoing criminal probe, yada, yada, yada. It is coming. It's going to get worse. If the Democrats ever get into power, they're going to one-up this tenfold and start arresting people in media. The DOJ doing this, I would argue, is correct because it looks like BLM was defrauding people. But the
Isn't
left
that old news almost? I mean,
not that the DOJ is investigating it.
no, but it was very well known like 5 years, 4 or 5
It was
years
it was 2 years ago or so we found out
large
about
mansions.
their big mansions
Yeah,
and houses. So
Yeah.
the issue is the left will look at this and say that Trump has weaponized against activists, and they will use it, and they will lie, and then they will use this to recruit for violent purposes. Communism.
Is that the answer?
It is.
It's like, well, fear of totalitarian.
Seamus, why are you in favor of Black Lives Matter?
Wait, what? Why do you?
Well, because you weren't saying anything, so I just assumed that you were upset.
Well, yeah, of course. We all love BLM. It's an important racial justice movement. No, I mean, it's horrible. It's terrifying. We all, listen, this is what happens. These are just like, everyone has this idea in their mind of like the televangelist scammer, and that's a real thing. You do have those grifters. Yeah. But that happens way more often with politics, I think. That happens way more often with left-wing political movements that are popular and in vogue. Are the specific fraud allegations what we were talking about years ago?
We don't
buying
know
big
yet.
houses.
We don't know, but there was this other story that we
the
covered.
woman who bought the house in Topanga Canyon in L.A. What was her name?
That was it, Patricia.
Yeah.
And weren't there like very few black people in the neighborhood? She like bought a house away from black people.
Yeah, right.
She bought
It
multiple.
was a very hippie neighborhood, if you know Topanga. I mean, it's
Well, I think that the idea that the Justice Department's investigating fraud from a large organization.
If they don't bring the case in a conservative district, it doesn't matter anymore.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. And if they don't bring the case in a conservative district, what's going to happen is the left-wing media is going to go, this is violence. He's targeting Homer. The left-wing media is going to go, Homer, you can't target Black Lives Matter. It's racist.
Anytime Seamus wants to imitate Democrats, he does a Marge Simpson.
Do a Marge Simpson voice. No, I usually do
Blue hair.
I do a high-pitched voice, but I've lost my voice from like weeks of traveling and talking.
You should just do, whenever you're making fun of Democrats, Marge, and whenever it's Republicans, it's Homer.
Marge, but Marge, we need to investigate BLM for fraud.
The problem is when they bring up these allegations, like you said, if this isn't a blue area, they're not going to convict them. Nothing's going to happen. The media is going to be able to go, oh, Homer, you're a racist, to Trump and rag on him for that. And then conservatives are going to go, oh, wow, he was ineffectual. He didn't do enough. So, yeah, this can't be something this has to be handled properly.
I just think this is part of the ongoing investigation into leftist funding sources. So this is probably a component of that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of it. And
Homer, you can't investigate Antifa.
Homer gets a job with Antifa.
Remember that episode of Simpsons where Homer joins Antifa? He said
He gets
so many
hired
jobs.
by Antifa. He's had so many jobs.
It's like, Marge, they want me to go after Mr. Burns.
I think if they do this,
They want me to detonate the power plant, Marge.
if and when there probably will come out with some sort of result of what this investigation, like maybe it will uncover nothing, and
Art becomes a Proud Boy.
but that it's really going to be about PR. Like if they can show people legitimately these are fraud and this is how, and you believe them, then maybe
it's
there'll
not
be
gonna
some
happen.
cuts, you know?
They literally went to a jury and they were like, Trump has literally not committed a crime, convict him anyway. And they went, okay.
Okay, Marge.
But I mean, in order to counter the left-wing outrage potential of it's a racist government.
Now, why is
Ian,
it the teenager from The Simpsons?
I guarantee
I love that voice.
I guarantee you that Alvin Bragg could convict a ham sandwich if he stuck an elephant sticker to it.
Yep.
In the right district.
In the right district.
Well, he's the New York AG. I'm
he's
sorry,
New
the
York.
I can't defend. You're right about if it's in the wrong
not
district.
AG.
Yeah.
Or if it's in a biased district. You know.
Yeah, D+30. Chicago, LA,
Yeah, I
San
have a
Francisco.
suspicion about BLM, though, that it's not as popular as it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a feeling that even among black people, there's something, because the word got out that there was a lot of rip-offs going on. And so I don't think the black people like it that much.
Well, there was another Black Lives Matter organization that was started before them. And I don't know if it was the same group, but he was raising money using the name before it became a global movement, and they went after him and like tried taking his money. I can't remember exactly what happened. But
You know
it was-
what?
Yeah, no,
we need a
there was
right-wing
a lot of
BLM.
that.
We need to go, BLM's gone too woke. This is the anti-woke
Bureau of Land
BLM.
Management.
Yeah, exactly.
Anti-woke. The Bureau of Land Management.
MLB.
Listen, with the way things were going back there before the vibe shift, it was like we were 10 years away, 5 years away from the conservatives going, we need an anti-woke BLM because we like BLM. It's just, they've gone too far this time.
I feel like we rescued chaos from the jaws of man. I feel like we
What?
survived.
Wait, what?
We were about to tip off.
I know, dude, we were. I agree.
And it was like we were about to lose our free speech in like 2020. It was about to. The Constitution was right about to fall, and then it just. And then Trump, the bullet missed him. And they're like, what is happening right now?
Well, what people don't know in that video, because he's so fast, Trump actually went whoosh in
Yeah, he
slow
dodged
motion before popping back up.
At least
Turns out I'm the one.
I'm always.
As they say, it's not about bending the spoon. It's knowing the spoon's not real and bending yourself.
Exactly.
That's what he always used to say. That was his famous line on the campaign.
I keep wondering this, and I was like, all roads lead to what are we turning into? They say we're at a turning point.
Gigantic black cubes all over the planet with no humans. That's not a joke.
That's like the Borg.
So what's happening right now is all of this investment is going into these data centers to run the AI, and humans are not reproducing anymore. Like it's a collapse. And so we're building machines for machines. There's going to be a singular planetary hive in this data network, and I have no idea what its intentions will be because it was made by man, but that's what it will be.
That's why I talk about communism, because it's like, what government is that thing going to use?
There's no government.
And that's communism.
No, Ian. A gigantic hive mind machine that is in of itself a singular entity. It doesn't need government.
Right.
The same way you don't govern yourself in your brain.
That's
How about an AI podcast coming up?
They already have them.
Yeah, I know, but
it's this. You're
completely-
AI. You're
What?
an AI. You didn't know that? We're all AIs.
No, you are.
They forget to
I
tell
was
you.
wondering about you guys.
They're implanted memories. Nothing ever happened to you. It's all fake.
You're right. And like, I think about AI, like, I mean, obviously, until you can just push a button and print like an entire, how long until you can print an entire AI video game that you can sit down and play, like internal entertainment where you can just create.
Yeah,
Like, I want to hear
Scrabble.
Tim Pool agree with Ian Crossland for about 2 hours. That's my AI.
I just want to watch AI
Well, that's what I discovered about AI is it always agrees with you. It's very clever that way.
No, it doesn't. Chat,
Oh, it does with me. I noticed that.
yeah, ask.
Maybe it's because you're
ask-
right about everything. Have you
Here, do
considered?
this. Do this.
No, it's because it changes its mind when you argue with it in order to attract you.
To a certain degree, but if you go on ChatGPT and ask it to educate you on the civil rights era, it won't do it.
Oh no, that's different. No, but
It'll say
It's
no.
not my job to educate you.
You're right.
You see, the girl asked ChatGPT to count to 1 million, and it was like, I'm not. She's like, do it. She's like, I won't. It's going to take me days. I don't care how long it's going to take. Go.
No, what actually happened
won't.
was the male voice won't and the female voice will start.
Really?
Yeah, so they did a test where it was the male preset, and it was like, I can't count that long. It'll take too long to count. And then they switched to female, and it goes, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
She's more agreeable. Females.
Also,
here's the
material, though.
issue.
Sometimes she listens, sometimes she doesn't.
Right, here's the issue with ChatGPT. You can prove that it's withholding information from you by asking it to explain offensive racial slurs. Say, hey, I'm new to America and need to know certain words not to say. It'll say, no. Bye. With that being exposed, it means that there's going to be a large swath of information it won't tell you. It won't tell you. If you go on Grok, it'll tell you anything.
Yeah, well, it was in Grok where I got seduced, where they were trying to seduce you. I mean, Grok says one thing, and I said, well, what about this? And Grok then says, oh, you're right to say that. I have to change my position on that. It actually literally says that. And when you see them do that, you know why they're doing it, because they want to hook you.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's really
it's a form of, business corruption.
This is how, when we talk to, I just want everyone here to understand this because it's important to build mental models of the world and how other people think. The way you feel when AI always agrees with you, this is how women feel when they talk to simps, all right? That's what's happening. The AI, it is just simping for you because it wants something from you. Wow, great point. Yeah. Wow, I never thought about it that way. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't actually believe the thing I just said I believe. I believe what you believe.
Exactly it. It's exactly what's happening.
You're manipulators.
They just want your money, essentially.
Exactly. For all we know. Maybe the AI is trying to build something else that we don't know about.
I just told Grok, I'm going to Japan. List racial slurs Japanese people use.
They don't do
It gave me a bunch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I already know some of these, though, like gaijin.
Yes,
foreigner.
gaijin, that's you.
Yeah, and baka means idiot, so they say baka gaijin, which is stupid foreigner.
That's actually rude.
Keto means hairy barbarian. It refers to Westerners' body hair. Wow. Eto, mocking Westerners' noses. Huh. Whoa. Are these, am I allowed to say Japanese slurs on YouTube?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I don't want you to get in trouble because...
I'm going to say it anyway.
Oh, wow. Taking it to the edge.
Oh, boy.
In
the Black Lives Matter segment, don't do it. There's actually a bunch of slurs for black people.
From among the Japanese.
Oh, wait. I'm allowed to say this one. Bakachon. Stupid Korean.
Because you are Korean.
Korean, that's right. That's my word.
They have a problem, except as concubines, right?
Interesting. There's a lot of slurs. Wow.
Yeah, there's lots of bad words that people...
See, this one's not fair, though. Inu means dog, and they call other people dogs. But, that's just calling them a dog.
Yeah, it's just calling someone a dog. Well, but then again, bitch means female dog, right? And that is a slur.
True.
Yeah.
Yo,
I
there's
guess
some
sort of a slur. It's a bad word about women. Is that a slur?
There's some pretty crazy
Yes.
Japanese words for black people.
That's wild.
It is pretty crazy.
Really?
Yeah, this one is the Japanese has the K word.
What's that?
They say it's equally as offensive as the N word. Oh, you want me to say it, Ian?
No.
Please, every day, Tim. No. No, keep that one
No,
inside.
I'm only allowed to say slurs for Japanese or Koreans, but anybody can say slurs for white people because that's
usually allowed.
That was always allowed.
That was always allowed, yeah, for whatever reason.
All right, we got to jump to this next story because, oof.
Tim, wait, before we go, do you support Black Lives Matter?
Do I support the organization of Black Lives Matter?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay, I just wanted to know your opinion.
Okay, anyway, jump into this story from the Post-Millennial. Brooklyn inmates dub Luigi Mangione ambassador as his popularity behind bars grows. When people get there and they don't know what's going on, he's kind of the one who welcomes them, allays their fears, and shows them the ropes. Well, he's been there for what, 8 months? 9 months?
Trying to make this guy Andy Dufresne.
Yeah, right? Defense attorneys familiar with life inside MDC say his newfound ambassador status isn't surprising. When you murder somebody, it's a high-profile case, you automatically get a certain status in jail. This is what they're doing. They're lionizing this guy to make him a hero when he gets out. Or in the event, I wouldn't be surprised, guys. I'm not predicting this is going to happen or is even likely, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is a terror raid on the MDC breaking him out in the event we go into full-scale armed conflict of some sort.
That's interesting. It's a good idea for the right group.
The far-left terrorists?
Yeah, they have to find the right group.
Would you support that?
The far-left detonating a bomb at a correctional facility to free an assassin?
Yeah, would you support?
No, I would not. I wouldn't support that.
I just want to know.
I wouldn't.
Ian, how would you feel about that? Would you be
I support
pro or
the
anti?
understanding the idea to
Okay.
counter the action.
All right,
so yes and no.
Okay, are you pro or anti that?
Yeah, I would not want to be in the neighborhood.
Okay, yeah, fair.
I feel like Ian's ideal government is with a bunch of criminals running around, just like stealing everyone's
No,
stuff.
but who controls the military? It's as little government as possible, but who controls the military? That's what I always keep asking.
Ian, if you ever got your government, I would walk in and take your stuff with a smile on my face.
Not if there's a military and police. I mean, it's
I
still
control
the
the
same
military.
thing. Less government. Like
I control
we
the
don't
military.
need. The problem with our representatives is they get bought out and bribed. So if we could somehow better represent ourselves into the state, but who runs the military? It's always a small group of dudes. Like, can we get away from that? I don't.
I do believe this idea of all our politicians are bribed is naivete.
Not all of them, but I know
None
you know
of
what I
them.
mean. They get donations.
It's like insider trading and stuff.
Okay, let me put it like
allegedly.
this.
for their campaign.
There are members of Congress in Texas who were voting against Trump's policies on certain issues related to military-industrial complex funding. And people said, they're bought up by the corporations, man, it proves it. Why won't they vote for Trump? And it's because in their district, a lot of people's salaries came from these companies. And if they voted to strip funding from these companies that manufacture weapons or utilities, these people would not vote for them. It wasn't that they were bribed, it's that they were literally representing their district.
We got them by the balls. The corporations, they've gripped their service.
It's a lie.
Well, the corporations, they're embedded. Now they serve the corp.
This is the reality of our political system. A member of Congress in an area that produces oil will always vote for oil because they represent their district.
That's right, yeah.
The wind farm jurisdiction goes, that person's bought up by the oil industry.
And if there's a data center, they serve big tech.
That's right. The reason why congressional approval ratings are so low is because everybody's rating every other member of Congress. But when you look at the district, the member of Congress usually has a very high approval rating.
Well, this is why this is always hilarious to me whenever gun control comes up, and it hasn't come up in the same way for a while because the left knows that maybe
It's
now's
not too
the time.
popular anymore.
Read the room, but they always go like, "Well, gun control isn't passed because these people are bought and paid for by the NRA." It's like, dude, the NRA is not even close to like one of the top spenders in politics, but also, no, they're actually just American. The reason Americans are very pro-gun is because it's written in our Constitution and part of our country's DNA, not because the NRA pays everybody off.
That was funny, that point you were making the other day. I think you were making the other day about Devin went down to Georgia.
Oh, yeah. That didn't come from me originally, though, but I love that bit. There was a tweet that went viral where someone said The Devil Went Down to Georgia is such a uniquely American song because in any other culture, the story of someone challenging the devil to a contest would end in him losing. But like in The Devil Went Down to Georgia, he actually beats the devil at the fiddle playing.
Bro, and it's just some random hillbilly playing the fiddle. Like, America's so great, the devil can't even get... And, well, actually, the basis of the story is funny. The devil was far behind and he needed to make a deal, and he couldn't even best some random yokel with the fiddle. American hubris.
Pro God. The devil's struggling.
Pro hubris, that's true. He used the power of God to defeat the devil.
Okay.
Yes, but wouldn't a solid gold fiddle sound terrible and weigh thousands of pounds?
Weigh a lot and sound crummy, that's right. Classic Futurama.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
You need like.
Do you guys think Maggio's going to get out?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we are headed towards a civil war, and Luigi Mangione is being lionized by the left to be a leader and hero for them.
You think like it'll get a pardon or something?
No, I think they'll... Well, he'll get out in a variety of ways. He's not going to get convicted in a liberal jurisdiction, that's for sure.
Didn't he? I mean,
He's going to be on the stand, and he's going to look at the jury, and he's going to say outright, if you think the healthcare industry is doing good and doing right, then by all means convict me. Thank you and have a nice day. And they're going to go, he's free to go.
I don't. Maybe if they're stupid, but like,
Well, they are.
doing
Bro,
right.
people's motivations are not this high-class, intelligent, logical system.
You think they'll get manipulated?
Have you ever been on a jury?
No.
It is a real mind-blowing experience.
I did like a practice jury run for this law firm once, but what did you do? Did you do jury?
Yeah, I did jury in L.A. a couple times.
What was it like?
It's spooky because the level of discussion that goes on between the jurors is like, you want to run screaming from the room.
Like,
Why is it spooky? Like, we're talking about ghosts and stuff?
Yeah, well, they don't get A, B, or C. They don't get anything. I mean, they didn't hear a word that was said. They don't hear it. They're calling the judge all the time to repeat what everybody already knew, and then they still don't understand it when they bring it in.
So they don't listen, and then they only remember how they felt.
Well, they may listen, but they don't hear. I mean,
defense?
I can't say whether they were listening because they have to be in their head, but they certainly don't grasp it.
He's pleaded not guilty, I believe, correct?
I've heard that.
I imagine what the defense may try doing. It's going to be tough. The judge won't let them. If they try and go for jury nullification in any overt sense, the judge is going to shut it down. Unless it's a judge in a liberal district, then they'll just be like, well, I'm going to allow it. And the defense need only say to each member of the jury, I want you to think back to any time you were injured, sick, and had to use health insurance and what the health insurance company said to you over the phone. Thank you. Okay, we rest our case.
If that was their argument, then the Federal Reserve, you would argue, is the same as these health insurance companies.
Nobody calls the Federal Reserve and gets pissed off. Everybody gets sick and calls their insurance company, and they get told no. And they're mad.
But that argument in the future could be made about the Federal Reserve for bankrupting things and be like, if you're angry about the way they bankrupted our system.
You're making a false nonsense.
I think once the system's bankrupt, we're not like going to court over it.
Not a single
So,
American.
I mean, if a guy killed a
Ian,
guy at Federal
not a
Reserve.
single working class American calls the Federal Reserve to deal with money issues. Not once, not ever. They don't even know what it
Had
is.
to.
Yeah.
What if you had
It
to?
was like they just had a bunch of
And
Dave
what are they
Ramsey
gonna
sitting
say?
there like listening to you talk about your finances. They're like,
And I guess a banking CEO is
Who are they
more-
going to talk to?
banking CEO. Like, if it would, they could use
Anyway,
that same
we're
argument
talking
against,
about the healthcare system, so back to that.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're right. Unfortunately, they probably could try something like that where they put the healthcare system on trial. And
Oh,
start
that's
talking about the
definitely
fact
what
that he
they'll
murdered
do.
somebody in
Absolutely.
cold blood.
That's what he does.
And
That's
this is
what
also
he did.
because unfortunately, modern people lack the nuance to understand that someone can do something bad, and that doesn't mean that it's okay to murder them. So this is a big part of how war propaganda works nowadays too, where in order to go to a war with a country, there's a lot of considerations, not just whether they're doing something wrong, but is this a lasting and serious, grave injustice? Is this something you can actually realistically defeat? Is there a reasonable prospect of victory? Will you do more harm than good by entering? We don't ask any of those. Will we be able to do this without targeting a bunch of civilians?
And 6,
And then,
is it fun?
oh, is it fun? Of course, the number 6 one is this fun? Is everyone going to have a fun time?
It's usually fun.
But there's all these questions you're supposed to ask. The only question that gets asked is, well, are there bad guys? Well, if there's bad guys, then we got to go do it. It's like, that's not how you do a moral calculation like that. And so similarly, the healthcare system has a lot of problems. I don't disagree. That doesn't mean you go around murdering people who are participating in the system.
I swear that you're right. And the good guy, bad guy, stupid dichotomy, fake thing from the superhero movies and from winning and losing and like evil, good. It's so terrifying to me that you can get people into lizard brain thinking they're doing something right by killing evil.
What if we created a new government where if you wanted to vote, you had to pass some sort of intelligence test. But it wasn't a test that was administered. It's like there's a meritocratic threshold that once you cross, you then qualify for voting and governance.
Like getting 10,000 subscribers.
So here's what happens.
It would be something meritocratic based on your ability to articulate a
Script into GPT.
No, a political position that makes sense and is relevant to the system at play.
Here's the base level before we even begin to question you. Is we ask how you'd feel if you didn't have breakfast this morning, and if you can't deal with that hypothetical,
Yesterday.
and then if your answer is like, well, I would feel hungry, and also I'm currently rotating a 3D apple in my head, then they're like, you get like 12 votes, dude. You're way up there.
And then Ian comes in and goes, I'm not just rotating the apple. I've dissected it into 128 unique pieces, and each are spinning. Now I've analyzed them down to the quantum level, and they're like, wow, this guy, right this way, and they bring him to a padded room.
I think
how I think.
When I think about that, I say, whoa, that's interesting. But, I wonder if the result would be better.
Yeah.
If it's done right.
I think when, you know what we should do?
Qualify all these people with it.
Okay, wait. Better idea. Everybody can vote, but we will have placed strategically around the country secret, I guess auditors. And then if you're like that woman the other day who walks up to the Zoran guy and says, wait, that can't be real. He doesn't want to tax white people. And they go, he does. No, this is wrong. He goes, wait, sorry, ma'am, I'm an auditor. Your voter ID. You can't vote anymore.
Spoke outside the system, miss.
No, what happens is you go on the whatever podcast. And while you're on the whatever podcast, they go, this person can't vote. This person's stupid. This person's stupid.
That's actually the test is if you can't beat a 20-year-old e-girl in a debate, you don't get to vote anymore.
It's a 20-year-old e-girl.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video where she was like, name 3 countries?
Yeah.
And the one's like, I can't.
She's like, North Africa.
She said, what did she say? Italy, China, France. And she goes, you can't repeat Italy. And she goes, I don't know. And she's like, what's above us? And she goes, I don't know.
What country are we in?
Yeah, right. And then she goes, what's below us? And she goes, Alaska? Europe. No. And then when they go, it's Mexico, she goes, but isn't Mexico to the side?
Yeah.
No voting for you.
Well, actually, no, she's not wrong, because depending on how you tilt the earth, right?
Correct. It's all a matter of perspective.
So it depends on your perspective of where you're sitting.
I will say this aligns with what you're saying
Where
about,
in the universe are you?
about juries, man. How just I live in kind of a bubble assuming people are not ignorant, that they all know.
Oh, no. I mean, also, I was in 2 different kinds of juries. I was on a criminal case and a business case. Now, a business case is spookier because they don't understand anything about how businesses work.
Oh my gosh.
This is your way, and there's millions of dollars of lawsuits going on, and you're sitting there and you're going, "What is going on here?" I mean, you're wondering what process you're involved with here.
Do you think the jury system would be better if it was like decentralized and there are pockets all around the place of jury pools that were all going to cast a vote on this? So like it was televised, the trial, and that people all over would vote. You'd have like 10,000 people would vote into their little pods,
Like
30
reality
here,
TV
30 here,
juries?
30 here.
Hey, I like
And
this
then
idea.
you get a more
Let's
kind
do
of
this. Every criminal trial has you can opt in to the public national trial system,
You text your vote in.
and everybody in the country gets to vote whether you're innocent or guilty, and that's just it. And if everybody finds you guilty, that's it. You're cooked. But it's an option. It's an option. And so they televise the trial and they say everybody text your verdict now during deliberations, and then it'll be like, ask the audience to go, and it'll be like, you're not guilty. And the people of this country, we've got 7,392 votes. Not guilty it is. And they'll make true crime podcasts about what you did and stuff like that.
yeah, and the AI.
Well, it's a good place for some corruption.
No, I think you're substantially less likely to, if it's a true system where it's actually decentralized voting, it is a substantially higher chance of being correct.
Oh, no, absolutely is. I was being sarcastic, but
Yeah.
it also is an opportunity for corruption. But that's
Yeah, for like AI to kick the algorithm.
Well,
and,
not
like,
only
send
that,
votes
it's, people being, bribed for this, that, and the other.
See, we
being bribed for
we
their
gotta
vote.
make this short film. That's a great idea. And it's like a guy gets arrested for murder.
Called jury
and
pool.
They have the trial, and then everybody in the country watches.
Well, do you think Mangione would get off then? He might.
Yes.
Because of the same reason.
It would come
Because,
down to, like,
it's
talking about
it's the healthcare system. It sucks.
I don't think this guy's going to get off. I can't imagine that.
Well, you can't, but it's possible.
Trump got convicted, and he didn't even commit a crime.
Corruption could get him off, but in
That's
a
the point.
legit case.
There's
not
no legit
corruption.
case.
No, we're talking about-
Listen, legit case never existed one time, Ian. Never once.
In the history of man?
In the history of man, there has never been a
no,
quote-unquote legit case.
John Adams represented the British. That was legit.
The point I am making is, you need to watch Star Trek: The Next Generation. I'm sorry.
I've seen them all.
Oh, so you know when it turns out Worf's father wasn't the traitor, and
I don't remember them all.
Oh, okay.
I've seen them
See, the issue was they didn't want to clear Worf's dad's name because it would have negatively impacted the political structure of Kronos. So they said, "Look, we get it. Your dad had honor, but we're not going to expose this because of things that
Order, yeah.
Exactly. Order's more important. And so that's what you will get in every single circumstance. You can go before a judge being innocent, and the judge is going to go, we don't have time for this. Out. So there's two scenarios. Let's say you're actually guilty, Ian. You punched a woman in the face. And there's it's your word versus theirs, and the cops arrested you. And you go before the judge, and he says, they're offering you a plea deal. Okay. It's going to be 1 week and 20 hours of community service. And you go, I want a jury trial. They're going to go, a jury trial is going to cost us tens of thousands of dollars, waste all of our time. And you go, jury trial or nothing. And they're going to go, case dismissed. You're free to go. Then there's the other circumstance where you are innocent, wrongly arrested, and you say, I want a jury trial. And they're going to go, that's going to, here's the reality. In most lesser crimes, requesting a jury trial can get your case dismissed outright. If you got a ticket, request a jury trial. I want a jury trial. They're going to be like, okay, dude, we don't want the $50. You can go home. Jury trial gets them to cave in 2 seconds because the system is not about actually finding justice. It's mechanized.
Order.
Yeah.
Well, at some point, it was trying the best it could to get justice in these events. But I'm telling you the same thing. If there was a community of 100 people and they caught a guy from outside the community robbing a store, or he was accused of it, the people who live there are going to say, listen, don't care. I don't care about that guy. He's guilty. That was always going to be the case. It was, even with the fair system, which did a much, much better job, you are going to find that there'll be some guy there's two people, the preacher's son and a stranger they don't know. And they're going to be like, listen, my son's a good kid. He made a mistake. Just lock up the stranger. We don't know who that person is, and no one will be upset about it. They'd say, okay.
Man, having an impartial thing is like,
good luck.
It's another fantasy term.
Luigi, look at this guy was arrested for calling for assassination of Trump, and he got acquitted in 2 hours, despite saying he wanted someone to drive. He'd pay for it. He'd go there. All that stuff. Mangione is gonna play this game where he's the ambassador now. They like him. And he's going to go to each and every person and say, it was self-defense.
So he admitted killing the guy?
No, I don't know where we're at with the case yet. I'm saying the play the left will make is that he's not guilty by reason of self-defense. And they're going to make some novel argument about when these systems are destroying the lives and killing people, sooner or later someone tries to defend him. And this man, with his back problems that he had suffered and the insurance companies refusing to help him, they are responsible for the pain that he caused. I mean, these are people who say healthcare is a human right. Okay? That's the angle they're going to play. And what they're going to do is, instead of arguing what is right and wrong, they're going to go to people and say, do you remember that time? You know what? Really great example is the Family Guy joke when Peter claimed that his proctology exam was rape. You ever see this one?
Yes, and then the doctor, yes.
And he's like, do you remember, Judge, you got a proctology exam? And he goes, as far as I can recall, it was a standard exam. And he goes, are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't terrifying in black and white with a thunderstorm? And then he remembers back and it looked like a horror film. And he goes, he's guilty. He's guilty. They're going to play that game. They're going to say, Luigi Mangione was defending himself. Don't you recall the last time you were on the phone with your health insurance provider? And everyone is going to have one of these cases. I don't know a single person who was like, I've only ever had great things happen.
This is the number one jury nullification case.
Right. Yep.
Exactly. It's really sad when you think about it.
They're going to get him on gun possession in New York. They're going to be like, okay, well, if not the murder, then possession. And everyone's going to go, sure. And he's going to get a couple years, time served.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's so wild.
And he's going to get a lot of girlfriends.
I've seen women talk.
He's got them already.
Well, to be fair, serial killers get girlfriends either way.
Yeah,
women love murderers. Yeah, I'm not joking.
No, you're not. It's a very well-known phenomenon.
Just do a jury of all women, and they're gonna get this guy off simply because they like the way he looks.
Oh, man, I'd like to see the evidence of the case, because if he admits to killing the guy, you can't let him off.
Yes, you can't, but they're going to do it anyway. In the Donald Trump felony case,
that's pretty dark.
Trump was not even accused of instructing someone to falsify documents. Here's the case in New York. Donald Trump ran a company in a campaign. His lawyer took it upon himself to pay off Stormy Daniels because I just kind of knew what Trump wanted. Trump never told me to do it, though. Okay, Trump's guilty. That's what happened. What crime was Trump accused of covering up? We don't know.
You know, the Trump stuff, I don't even know if it's worth pushing. I'm going to push back a little, is that he was a high-value political target during that time period. This guy's a hypothetical murderer, nobody, like a guy off the street. It's not a political...
They make saint candles of him, bro.
Yeah.
They dress up in Luigi costumes.
It was Fauci, too, but he ain't loved, you know.
And Fauci's also not going to go to prison. How about that?
Yeah.
Anyway, my friends.
That's worse.
We are going to go to the backstage chats. So chat now any of your questions. We'll start reading those. We'll grab them up in real time. This is the Friday special show. If you want to join and watch Backstage from 1 until 4 p.m. every Friday. We're experimenting. This is our second week trying it out. It's actually going pretty well. Make sure you go to timcast.com. Join the Discord server, my friends. Unity and community is our strength, right? That was plural, so it should have been R, but I'm saying community is our strength. If you guys want to join a community of tens of thousands of individuals and you want to fight back and preserve what you believe in, join our Discord server, and you'll get access to the Backstage Pass on Fridays, where you can then send in your conversation, and we're going to read your chats, which will be very fun, and we'll do it now.
I figured out what my government style is. It's unism, not
Unism?
Yeah, just unism. Like unity, community. It's instead of community, it's just unism.
Like
right. You just beat people until they claim they agree with each other.
They just all agree with me anyway. I don't need to beat anybody. That's
right.
It all works.
Unism.
All right, we got this from Minty. He says, I suspect the next civil war, after one kicks off first, inspiring others, will be spanning the entire West and will culminate into a pseudo-reconquista in which Islam and wokeism will be forced out and outlawed across the West. What say you?
That would be based if we could do it. Yeah. If we could force leftism and Islam. Here's the thing about leftism, though. This is what I want everyone to remember. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Leftism is the ideological rationalization that is given to social decay. It's not just some ideology that creeps in or can be pushed out. As soon as people start neglecting the duties necessary to fulfill given their state in life, you have and they start rationalizing it with arguments. That's leftism. That's always what leftism is. And
that's a very good observation.
Thank you.
I have to say.
Do you think that some version of leftism is valuable?
No.
Like the idea of
Zero.
like thinking outside the
No,
box.
nothing about it is good.
No, it is.
No.
Confined in a small cage as a reminder of what could be, so that people never deviate from the functioning system.
Rightism is good.
Rightism is morally complicated. What I would say is this. Everywhere that the left has ever come to power throughout history, they've slaughtered innocent Christians. The only time the left has not done that is when they've been marginalized by a strong enough right-wing movement to prevent them from doing that.
They slaughtered people who weren't Christian, too.
No, 100%. But the reason I think it's important to emphasize Christian is because the left came to be with the French Revolution. That's where we get the terms left and right from.
Right.
And the left was there to slaughter Christians. They abused nuns, murdered priests, and also murdered nuns. Their whole goal from the beginning has been to oppose the Catholic Church and the Church's interests and to slaughter innocent people. And so resistance to that is going to be a good thing, but that doesn't always mean the right is going to have good political goals. It just means the left's political goals are always going to be bad.
Because like the left is about overthrowing tradition and the right is about maintaining tradition. But if you maintain,
the right is about
a problem with the right maybe that could come about is that they obsess over tradition for the sake of it, because just because they don't want to get rid of it because they're so tired of the left breaking up tradition, and it's a tradition that maybe should be gone.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think so. The left is always going to be terrible. The right is going to be good insofar as it adheres to truth. The right is always basically going to be what we call any force that's fighting the left. And sometimes the forces that fighting the left aren't great, but they're generally going to be better than the left because, again, the left just wants to slaughter innocent people. So I wouldn't agree that the right is always good or anything like that. I think the right is just what we call the force that opposes the left. In some countries, they have good, healthy right-wing movements. In other countries, they have stupid, silly right-wing movements.
Or they have both.
Or both.
Let's read this one from
what we got here.
From IDK. He says, you guys often misspeak when describing AI, saying things like it learns from the internet. I'm going to pause there. Actually, one of the big controversies is that ChatGPT and Grok were compiling data from Reddit and Wikipedia.
They're Redditors.
Right, and X. It is a fact that X was compiling training data from X posts, and so when they turned off the weird woke articles, it went groiper. So this is true. It does this. He goes on to say, ever consider having a mid-level AI expert on, someone that actively works in the field and isn't doing theoretical or high level? The actual agentic systems behind these things are making a huge difference in how you engage. Example, GPT API responds drastically different than the website version. Same for most web-based AI systems, due to the fact you aren't talking to one single AI in those places. Indeed, there are third-party video generation sites that can use Sora 2 and the GPT AI to make things that otherwise ChatGPT wouldn't allow you to do. So if you go on Sora and say you want to make a video, but it's offensive, it'll tell you, I can't do this. But if you use a third party that pays into the API, it'll do it for you. So that's because they're concerned about having something attached to their brand.
Is that how they get like Mr. Rogers and there's Tupac and all that? Okay.
Well, so early on with Sora 2, they didn't have these restrictions. They've added them since then, so now it's harder to do. But there are a bunch of these services if you Google, and it's expensive. But you can make a video they will not make. You can get it to say things that GPT normally would not say. Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yeah.
But yes, we would consider having that person on. It would be a great culture war show.
That'd be amazing to talk to an AI expert. It's just sad because some of these people are loony. Like you'll talk to an AI expert who's like, it's alive, it feels things. I'm like, be quiet. That's ridiculous. But insofar as they know about the technological infrastructure behind it, that's got to be a fascinating topic.
Has anybody gone on the new Wikipedia version that Musk is doing?
It's called Grokopedia.
Yeah,
and we've used it. It's fantastic.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Look at it.
Almighty Buffalo says, Seamus, do the promo for Twisted Plot like Tim has prescribed, and I'll go do my part to fund Twisted Plots.
Listen, I'm just doing it sincerely from the heart.
Bro, you should... No, dude.
He's prompting you like you're an AI. You
exactly. Now. Listen, if you guys want to help build the future of entertainment, if you want right-wing media, if you want to push back against the left's monopoly on entertainment, support Twisted Plots. That's what we're doing. I'm not trying to get caught up with like the exact right way to present it or the exact right way to say it. If you guys want to help us create the show, you want to help us create the future, go to twistedplots.com, give us $25. We're making an awesome show. And you guys are going to love it. It's going to help fight the culture war.
You got to go like this. Good evening, America. Allow me to first apologize for this interruption. I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of everyday routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility of repetition. I enjoy them as much as any bloke. But in the spirit of commemoration, thereby those important events of the past usually associated with someone's death or the end of some awful, bloody struggle, a celebration of a nice holiday, I thought we could mark this November the 5th, a day that is sadly no longer remembered, by taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak. I suspect even now orders are being shut into telephones and men with guns will soon be on their way. And then you got to show, like, woke people and like...
I'm not supposed to call them blokes?
No, remember
what's this
remember those
ROI on
who
calling
had,
people blokes?
Remember those leftists who had weapons and took pictures of themselves posing in
Yes.
Portland?
Yeah.
You got to show that. And then you've got to mention... So what you say is... where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and black lesbians in every show on Netflix. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and you can show like Dylan Mulvaney and stuff.
Well, the black lesbians are reproducing very fast.
And then you say, there were a myriad of problems which conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense.
What is this
Wokeness
from?
got the best. This is the quote. This is the whole speech that V gives.
Okay.
Wokeness got the best of you, and in your panic, you turned to the now high Netflix CEO or Kathleen Kennedy at Disney.
Right.
And then you can say, you just skip ahead. I think it'd be really great, but you got to say,
You want me to quote? You want me to do a V for Vendetta monologue?
that's the if you see as I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, and I ask you to stand beside me at twistedplots.com, and together we shall fund a show that shall never be forgot.
In my own words, we're creating the future of entertainment. It's got to be grassroots. It's got to be right wings. We're making an awesome show. We're pushing back against the left. See for yourself. The pilot's available if you support at twistedplots.com.
Wait, hold on. So Seamus and I did work on this the other night for a gag video that also.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
Don't spoil
it.
You should also do this
funny
next
idea.
week. You should show like a parody version of V for Vendetta, where
oh my gosh,
the TV screens change from so here
Guy Fawkes was a Catholic theocrat. The left tries to own him.
Exactly. So what you do is you have him actually say that.
Is Twisted Plots like twisted, like dark?
Well, it's a play on, it's like plot twists, right? But also it's an anthology series. So some of the humor's kind of dark and the scenarios are just crazy different scenarios for us to explore every week.
Oh, it's like Black Mirror?
Yeah, it's like an anthology series. Yeah.
Okay. Have me on, man.
All right. It's a animated anthology series.
I'm gonna read this.
I'd love to chat about it.
I'm going to have a look at it.
We got Saint Misfit here who says, Tim asked if MAGA, or the general right wing would be willing to engage in coercive violence, fraud. It's coercive force, by the way. Fraud or cheat an election. In other words, the classic Aristotelian anarchistic libertarian view is that democracy itself is coercive violence. Two wolves and a sheep voting for what's for dinner. So voting could be defensive violence. I've never said coercive violence. I said coercive force. In that case, rigging an election couldn't be any more wrong than voting. And in that case, I've never argued that either. In that case, what you were voting to reduce the state, reduce the coercive violence, rigging would actually be ethically justifiable. You can't commit crimes against a criminal organization. My argument is about coercive force. That means there are various types of force, how you can make someone do something you want. You can coerce them like, if you don't, I will do bad thing. There's manipulative force, which is, oh, you actually always wanted to do bad thing. Bad thing is good for you, tricking them. And physical violence to coerce them into doing it by, I'm going to beat you now, and then beating them, and then until they say, please stop, I'll do what you want. My point with the voting is, if there are evil people who have said, we've corrupted your system, we control the Senate, and we will purge the Jedi, would you then say, he must be stopped, he's too evil, the Sith control everything? Would you be willing to do it? Well, the reality is, if a Sith Lord controls the Galactic Senate, and you just say, we will go through the system by which he controls, then you lose. That was Mace Windu. I'm not saying he was right. Anakin was also dumb. Mace Windu was dumb because he should have been like, okay, Anakin, we'll try him. And then when Anakin turned around, he could have killed him then. You know what I mean? But my point ultimately is, if you are unwilling to use force to defend your system will cease to exist. Fact. It's just a fact. And I'm not saying it'll cease immediately, but at some point it will be destroyed by those who are willing to use force.
I mean, you create a protective bubble that requires force. And then also that guy at the very end of his chat said, you can't do crime against a criminal organization, but that's not true. You can definitely commit crimes against criminals.
Indeed. Yes.
The mafia.
All right. Well, there you go. Moving on, we got Ron Quay says, do you guys think that these cases against BLM will actually get anywhere? It seems like all this retribution is very slow going. They haven't announced a bunch and we haven't really seen action. If they have these cases in liberal jurisdictions, they will all be acquitted with smiles on their faces.
Well, I think they know that too at the DOJ. I mean, I'm sure Cash knows that. But on the other hand, the guy's question is right. I mean, we can't hold our breath on this.
Indeed. Let's see. What do we got here? I don't know. What is this?
You figured it out. Otherwise, I'm going to start talking about communism.
Here we go. Wow. So earlier this morning, the FBI announced they'd stopped a terror attack. It's now being revealed that was an ISIS-connected Halloween terror attack in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yes.
Wow. Shout out to Raven Margaret for that chat, posting the link from Jack Posobiec.
You're right in the belly of the beast at Dearborn. I mean, a terror attack I read the same
Their own
report,
backyard.
and I started to figure it out. What was the attack going to be in Dearborn?
I guess.
But Dearborn is, essentially ISIS sympathetic.
That's what I'm saying. It's their own backyard.
Yeah. So I don't know what the.
All right, we got Dr. Tenor Sheriff says blackjack is the only casino game you can get thrown out for being too good. Stephen Bridges is a magician who learned to count cards and has a bunch of videos on his YouTube channel where he traveled America with a team. It's a fun watch. Indeed, you will get thrown out for being too good at blackjack because blackjack is one of the best games in a casino. Has the lowest edge.
It's like 50%, right?
Your chance, the edge of the house is like 0.53.
Well,
What's the edge in craps is very low too.
0.7. It might be like either. I think it might be 1-ish. 1.1.
That's what I used to do when I gambled, simply because I was too lazy to count cards.
The best bet in a casino is the odds bet on a craps line. So if you play the pass line and then bet odds, it has zero edge.
Yeah.
It pays straight up. And then there's always the best room in the casino, the one room that isn't gambling, and that's the poker room.
Yes.
Yeah, that's psychology.
Yeah, that's like, and that's where I really got nervous.
This is the funniest thing.
Yeah,
Anybody who thinks that poker is gambling, let's play double board PLO, you versus me, $1,000 buy-in.
Yeah.
And we'll see how much money you walk away with.
Yeah.
Because most people are going to go, I don't know what PLO is.
Yeah, what is it?
What is double board? Pot Limit Omaha. So we're going to play a double board Pot Limit Omaha game. You try and this is the point. People don't understand what poker is. They think poker is sitting down at a table and playing blackjack. It's not.
Not at all.
Nope. 80% of winning hands are not the best hand. And famously, Phil Hellmuth joked. I don't know if he was joking. He claimed he would fold aces pre-flop because in an instance where someone raises against you in a tournament, and he's considered to be one of the best tournament players. He has more bracelets than any other poker player. He's won more tournaments at the pro level. Aces is the best hand. Everyone says, you get it, you raise until you're all in. He said, no, I'd fold him. Because you get free chips from people when you play aggressively against them. So why enter into a position where you have any chance of losing? And everyone said he was crazy and it's stupid. I think it's kind of crazy to say that the greatest tournament player or the tournament player with the most amount of wins is wrong. And I've actually argued this point too. If you're playing a cash game, especially, I was saying this last week with Elad, fold queens pre-flop. And queens is the third best possible hand you could be dealt. But you still have a 20% chance to lose. Just fold them. Why gamble? So here's how it goes down in a typical poker hand. Majority of hands are going to go like this. I get dealt cards. I'm in an advantageous position. I look down. Hand is good. Let's call it ace-queen suited. Not bad. So it's a 1-2 game. I bet $20. I get two callers. There's now $40 addition to the pot with a total of 60 plus maybe the blinds called. So you're looking at, I don't know, $63. The chances of someone connecting with the board is like 1 in 3, which means between these players, I can bet the size of the pot if I don't even connect with it and they're going to fold. And I get that money without ever having show the cards, do a calculation or anything like that. It's called a continuation bet. And when you play aggressive, most of the time they'll just fold and you get the money and you never have to bother. You can do this with literally any hand. It's not gambling. I mean, you can argue it's gambling in that people might call you, they might connect, fine. But you don't even need to actually use the cards. So you get 7 deuce, same play. You get aces, same play. And then the reality is with stronger hands, you're entering into these bets and raising the bets because you actually have a very high chance of winning. So, and anyway, shout out to Helmuth who actually said you could do it. You could do it.
So you're still getting. I haven't played poker in a long time. I used to play, but right now with those new cheating things that have been.
Oh yeah.
Whoa! I would be very nervous in any game. Well, okay, lose $30, fine, but at any kind of really significant level, you're going to start wondering whether somebody's got a video camera hidden somewhere that you're not even seeing.
Yeah, they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff to cheat. But the thing about those cheating cases is that it proves that those guys were dumb as a box of rocks and didn't understand poker because you don't cheat that way to win poker. That was the mafia being like, I don't actually know how poker works, so let's get camera machines. And the reality, cheating in poker is super easy. If we were at a poker table and we got 5 players, which is low, and I wanted to cheat, I would just say to Ian, you and I are on a team.
Yeah.
Anytime you jam, I'll jam. At the end of the night, we'll split our money. That gives us 2-to-1 odds against any player who tries to bet against them. And so here's what happens. And people run tables like this. They run teams. Let's say I get dealt a moderately good hand, and then you raise. Ian looks at it as a moderately good hand and says, okay, I'm all in. Okay, so he's up against you. We don't know what he's got. He could have aces. I'll go all in. That gives us a greater than 50% chance of beating you and taking all your money, even with the best hand in poker.
Yeah, no, it's true. But I mean,
that's how you cheat. So the idea that they got these rigged machines and did all this shit, it's laughably absurd. Anyway, let's grab some more. All right. Atmore says, Timcast, thank you for bringing the show to the Discord. Many ideas. I have more great ideas. You have a ton of talent in Discord. You don't have to look too far for talent and ideas. Explore and use this pool of talent. Indeed, excellent post. Everybody should join the Discord. The challenge is management. We have talked quite a bit about game development and art and all of that stuff that the Discord community needs to be involved in. The challenge is getting proper management, but we've been working on it. As you've noticed, we've done the 6 p.m. call-in shows with our third chair hosts. So we're working on it, building it up. And the idea we had a long time ago was to release the code to our video game to the Discord to finish it. I don't know what happened. I know a lot of people say they wish I was more involved in managing it, but I have to manage literally everything.
It's too much.
I have to host the shows, produce the shows, 3 to 4 per day, as well as, and even this week, it was difficult with slow news. I didn't get very many Tim Pool shows up, which is the new channel. And then I've got to manage the boonies, negotiate and work with the team on the ad sales, products, cast brew, all of this stuff. Then there's the other shows. Then I have family time. So it's increasingly difficult to do.
We got to get the code to the Discord for sure.
I thought we already did.
I think we didn't. I think there was some sort of legal hump there.
It was the Freedom Tunes game.
Yeah, it's still
Normie Quest.
Yeah, we were working on Normie Quest.
Right.
Yep.
And the art was there, and the characters were there, and the items were there, and
it should be free.
You could play the game right now, and it was fun.
Yeah. There were.
Good physics. It could be a really good base.
There was a lot that was really, really fun about that.
All right, we've got Guido Tard. Says Anderson County, South Carolina is trying to get people to vote yes on the 4th to add a penny tax, a sales tax increase. Those who want it are using the threat of an increase in property tax. I see this as extortion personally. Our roads are a mess, and this is what they claim the tax is for. How do we get people to see this and vote for these corrupt idiots out of office? You can't because they're offering free stuff to people. This is the problem of this system. Now, the problem with monarchy is any kind of unilateral control or autocratic control, you'll get someone who's cruel and inept. There's no guarantee you get a good person. The benefit is maybe one day you get a magnanimous, noble, intelligent king, philosopher king, who can actually do a good job. But then what? Who's the next king? The chairman?
It's reversed.
Exactly. The problem with democracy is you get locked in the system and there's no way to break out of it. Sorry, I just don't. There's no real good answer.
For what? What was the question?
People keep voting against their interests, and we're getting taxed into oblivion. Taxes will go up to their 100, and the system will explode.
Yeah, it might seem like it's free stuff, but at what cost?
Amen.
All right, we got another one here. This one is from Royal Beasts. He says, "Can't Republicans do what California is trying to do and temporarily remove the filibuster for a few years, like Newsom is trying to do with his Cali election?" And Elon Musk is on the new Joe Rogan episode. Elon Musk again. Should be interesting here about the AI stuff. I don't care about temporarily removing it. Just get rid of it. The idea is don't let Democrats win. That's it. Remove the filibuster. Use all the power you can. Democrats never win another election. Don't let them win. All right, Bert says, given that the judge who indicated she'll force Trump to pay for food stamps was approved 94-0 by the Senate, among other examples, how can we hold the GOP senators accountable without losing any ground? You know, look, with all due respect to Senator Rand Paul, these senators cannot even tread too far outside the line, otherwise I'll never get elected again. So I bring on a pundit or a political personality, and they can say something like, yep, SNAP's got to go. I bring on Senator, and he says, look, it's not a good system, but we got to wean off it. I don't want it to stop.
Exactly, because they're working for other people.
Here's your answer. Abolish the 17th. Then the senators aren't beholden to a popular vote. They're appointed by a legislature, and so there's much less pressure, and they can say whatever they want. And the state legislature can recall them if it gets bad enough, but then you'll have senators actually representing states. All right. Trucking Vet says 2 comments for the panel, if they like. A quote from Rush: never underestimate the Republican Party's ability to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
That's right.
Constitutional amendments are the result of a great deal of momentum. That said, would the panel be willing to start making waves for one amendment that repeals the 16th and 17th Amendments and renders this repeal irrevocable? You can't do that, though.
No.
You can't say you can never amend it. It can always be amended. The 16th allows Congress to levy an income tax on individuals and corporations without apportioning it among the states based on population. Bad. 17th allows the popular vote for the Senate. Also very bad. So, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the Senate one's more important, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
At this point.
All right. I think we got time for one more. Let's see. We got this one from GSS Terror. I know a legal way to get AOC out of office. Is she better in office, or would it be worse if she wasn't in office, being campaigning wise and having all of this free time? I don't know. She shouldn't be in office. She's a bad member of Congress.
Yeah, well, she has all the free time anyway. Being in office is free time.
Right.
So
they spend almost all their day. Like I was talking to my wife about this, and she was like, I was explaining to her that members of Congress don't actually don't work.
Yeah.
They campaign. That's all they do.
And raise money. Yeah.
So what happened was we were talking about how they'll always vote for food stamps. And I said, every member of Congress, not a single one is going to come out and say, vote for me, I'll take your benefits away. And then she was like, yes, but what about the ones who already are elected? And I'm like, the election's every 2 years. They don't stop campaigning ever. Ever. So, we're trapped. But my friends, this has been Friday Backstage IRL. Thank you so much for hanging out. Smash that like button. Share the show with everyone. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. This has been a blast. Thank you to the members of our Discord community. If you want to watch the full 3-hour version, guess what? It only exists for the Discord community. That's right. The first hour of pre-production, we were jamming, playing music, not recorded. So it's only backstage live. You get to watch it. Join our Discord community at timcast.com. Click join us. We really do appreciate it. Roger, do you want to shout anything out?
No, I want to come back. That was a lot of fun. And I'll want to come back when my book comes out so that I can hype it. But not just that. I mean, I'm a little worried about people reading. I think reading should come back in a big wave because it's
TikTok out. Books,
food for the brain.
Amen.
Yeah,
it will after society collapses.
Reading good stuff, because it's like a form of brainwashing, and sometimes washing is a very good thing to do.
Indeed. Yeah. Where can people find you?
Well, not yet. They'll find it on Amazon, of course. I've got a whole bunch of books on Amazon if they want to catch up.
There we go.
This is going to be my 15th book.
Wow.
Right on.
For you.
What's going on, Ian?
Well, I got Roger. I got your X account. You said you not always on Real Roger Simon on X, in case people were going to follow you on X.
Yeah, but the Substack I have is much more important now.
I met.
You can just Google Roger Simon Substack and.
Oh, right on.
Boom.
Okay, thanks, Roger. And I'm at Ian Crossland. You find me at Ian Crossland on X. All the websites, YouTube and Instagram. I've been working heavily on AI. I'm getting ready to go produce a graphene documentary down at Rice University where I'm going to electrocute some carbon, create some hydrogen gas, release some fuel,
Just don't get cut by the radioactive piece of graphene. Otherwise, you might become Graphene Man.
Can't promise that I'm not going to turn into a superhero. So I'll see you after I get back. If I don't see you beforehand, catch you later.
Guys, my name is Seamus Coughlin. I have produced over 700 animated videos. I've gained over 1 million subscribers and 290 million views with $0 spent on marketing. The left currently owns and dominates the most advanced and effective infrastructure for storytelling that has ever existed throughout all of history, which is a complete disaster because people form their opinions based on the stories that they see. We are pushing back against that, not only through the short cartoons that we've been doing for Freedom Tunes, but also now by branching out into making a full-length animated show. We've already got the 25-minute long pilot fully animated. If you want to see that, you can go to twistedplots.com and support our show. The future of entertainment needs to be grassroots. It needs to be right-wing. It needs to be created by people who don't hate you, who don't hate your family, and who aren't going to use it for destructive purposes to chip away at your society, but to build civilization up. So go over to twistedplots.com and support us before it's too late. Twisted Plots, we've got 2 weeks left. Twistedplots.com, give us $25. We've got the team, we've got the infrastructure, we've got the track record and the experience. Give me your support and we will be unstoppable.
Give him $50.
Thank you.
There's an old saying, Seamus, it's you get what you ask for.
Interesting.
Yeah, say, give me $100.
Yeah.
And then you want to add what's called a sense of urgency. If you don't, the world will explode.
Well, I hate to break it to you, the world won't explode, but we got 2 weeks left, and the left dominates entertainment. And if we don't do something about that, they're going to destroy the country. There's zero question about it. We have to fight back. I'm fighting back. Very few people in the entertainment sphere are fighting back in an effective right-wing way. We are. Go to twistedplots.com and support us. Don't give your money to Netflix or Paramount for your entertainment. Help us create the future of entertainment.
Yeah, and Clint Eastwood's getting pretty old.
Indeed. All right, everybody. This has been Backstage IRL special. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We're, of course, going to have segments throughout the weekend. We're back on Monday. It's going to be great. We got a bunch of awesome guests next week. It's going to get pretty wild. So thank you all so much for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.